All right, and we should be back. Good evening. I'm David Reimer with the Texas Storm Chasers. It's 6:48 on the dot, the 3rd of May, 2021. We've got a new tornado warning now for northwestern. Well, here, I'll just read the warning. For northeastern Bosque County, northwestern Hill County, and north central Texas. This will be southwest of the DFW Metroplex. It's going to be a possible tornado 10 miles northeast of Meridian or 20 miles north of Clifton, moving east at 20. In addition to a potential tornado, this storm could also produce hail up to the size of tennis balls. This is going to be a circulation not too far northeast of Morgan on Highway 174. You can see we do have some low-level rotation showing up with the best reflectivity signature now showing up on Highway 174 about 4 miles northeast of Morgan, moving towards the town of Blum in northwestern Hill County. Should this storm continue on its path, it could not only impact Blum, it may impact more of northern Hill County, maybe southern Johnson County with at least hail. So that is who is in the tornado warning. Let's say who's not in the tornado warning. Meridian, you're not in the tornado warning. Itasca, Covington, you're not in the tornado warning, although I would keep a close eye on this storm because you might be in one later. Hillsboro, Whitney, Lake Whitney, you're not in this tornado warning. Tornado warnings are now, or excuse me, warnings have not been issued by county-based methods in over 13, 15 years now. They're issued with polygons. So those are small portions of counties, but some legacy weather warning systems like weather radios will still alert you if it includes a small sliver of a county. So that's why I'm saying, yes, we have portions of Bosque and Hill counties in a tornado warning. Most of those counties are not in a warning. It includes small sections of each of those counties. We've got a severe storm capable of producing hail east of Granbury over DeCordova, moving towards Godley, eventually western, northwestern Johnson County. We've got multiple storms capable of producing quarter to ping pong ball size hail in eastern Parker, western Tarrant counties. We've got one near Anetta, moving towards Aledo. We've got another one over Azle, Eagle Mound Lake, Lakeside, Lake Worth. We've got another supercell, which I'll tell you, that is looking a lot more organized now. East of Denton, Pilot Point to Aubrey to Krugerville to New Hope to Oak Point to Corinth. And I'll tell you, that is definitely looking more organized in terms of a supercellular storm structure. So this may have finally begun dominating its local environment. And assuming that is the case, this storm could attempt to become more intense over the next 30 minutes. So we'll keep an eye on that storm for sure. That storm, by the way, is going to be moving towards northwestern Colin County. So Prosper, Salina, Frisco, Little Elm, New Hope, Pilot Point, next 20, 30 minutes, maybe a little longer. After that, if this were to move due east, it would ride right down 380 with the hail core just north of 380. Keep an eye on it, Colin County. We've got, again, multiple storms in western Tarrant, eastern Parker County. The strongest are producing quarter ping pong ball size hail. And then we have a tornado warning for northeastern Bosque, northwestern Hill counties. Potential tornado northeast of Morgan by 5 to 6 miles southwest of Blum. Moving pretty much right towards Blum, and then it could be a threat to Covington thereafter. Had a brief rope funnel about 10 minutes ago, 3 miles north of Glenrose. Huh. Well, that leads to some validity regarding the storm in Hood County. Potential for hail is increasing rather substantially in eastern Denton County. Hail core with the thunderstorm is intensifying. Let me press some buttons on this. And let me go ahead and loop this. Let me turn off the lightning. Let me turn off extraneous layers so we can get a better look. Just had a report of ping pong ball size hail in Azle near FM 730 and FM 1542. So the storm in northeastern Parker County, northwest Tarrant County is producing at least ping pong ball size hail. Storms in Denton County, you can see, are beginning to organize. We had multiple storms that looked rather disorganized about 30 minutes ago. You can see how it's kind of consolidated into a larger supercell. That's what I mean when it begins to dominate its local environment. Now, as it does that, it may start turning a little more to the east with an increasing threat of significant hail, and we may also see some tornado potential. We'll keep an eye on it. Kind of almost looks like a left split supercell near Azle. That's moving north, dropping a ping pong ball size hail apparently in Azle, or just northwest of Azle. Storm in Denton County continues to become more organized. So those of you in eastern Denton County, western Colin County, hey, keep a heads up. Hail potential's increasing. Also having to watch for some low-level rotation. We've got a storm capable of producing, what is this, the 5th or 6th storm now? Southeast of Granbury over D. Cordova, Lake Granbury, potential for quarter-size hail. That's kind of moving east-northeast. And then we've got a supercell capable of producing tennis ball size hail and a tornado northeast of Morgan moving towards Blum. Hail core may end up impacting Rio Vista. Tornado potential may end up staying south of the Johnson Hill County line, for now at least. And that is going to be moving into Northwestern Hill County near Blum over the next 30 minutes. Now, let's take a peek. I'm doing right now is I'm looking at various weather data sources to maintain situational awareness. Have a update to the tornado warning here. We'll go ahead and read that as soon as it is on my screen. In case you're wondering, I have 8 computer monitors here running. So that's why I'm looking around, not looking at the camera. This is a good way to maintain situational awareness. And real quick, let me zoom out. We'll pop on over to the radar out of Abilene. We have multiple severe storms capable of producing hail in west central Texas and the Big Country. Storm capable of producing big hail northwest of Sweetwater could be in Sweetwater soon. If that storm doesn't hit Sweetwater, we've got a storm over Colorado City. That's going to hit Sweetwater. Again, these are nasty hailers. Potential for damaging hail is quite high with those storms. Let me switch to the Lubbock radar. Hailer coming into La Mesa. Hailer southwest of Post. We have a hailer northeast of Plain, southwest of Sundown. We've got a hailer west of Denver City on the New Mexico-Texas state line. Most of these storms are moving east. And we note, round 1 is impacting North Texas right now. Round 2 are these hailers in west central Texas in the Big Country. Some of those storms you see right there around Abilene, La Mesa, some of those are going to make it into Arkansas well after midnight. So they're going to track across the Big Country, track across North Texas, track across Northeast Texas. These are mainly a hail concern. So that's why I'm not talking about them as much compared to the threat for some tornado risk out in North Texas. Again, remember, I'm just one person here. I have to focus on the most life-threatening storms. And the current most life-threatening storm is this one capable of producing a tornado, let's say about 6 to 7 miles southwest of Blum, moving east-northeast at about 20 miles per hour into Northern Hill County. Now, let's check the rest of the dry line. You know, does this seem like last Friday to anyone else yet? I mentioned in a blog post this morning how the southward extent of today's thunderstorm chances were going to depend on the cap. We thought it was going to stay north of I-20. Mama Nature is a troll, and Mother Nature will do what Mother Nature wants to do, regardless of what lines we draw on a map. For today's situation, a cold front is 6 hours behind schedule. That cold front was supposed to cut off the more volatile air mass across North Texas. Obviously, that didn't happen. Now we've got strong to what look like they're attempting to be severe thunderstorms that have busted through the cap west of Bexar County in south central Texas. We've got one thunderstorm northwest of Devine. We've got another thunderstorm just north of Castroville. Let's see what direction they're moving. These storms are moving northeast, and based on the ingredients in place, these could also have a big-time hail problem. Severe thunderstorm watch has just been issued for portions of the hill country in south central Texas, including San Antonio, an area that wasn't even in a thunderstorm risk 12 hours ago. But that just goes to show you, you have to expect the unexpected when it comes to thunderstorm events in May. Some days, we can give you literally days of lead time leading up to some severe weather days. Other days like today, everything can change within a few hours. You only get a few hours lead time. So those of you in south central Texas, west of Bexar County, heads up. You've got storms firing up and an air mass quite supportive of damaging hail. Just going to mention that because, you know, we want to try and make me have to split between two of our biggest cities in the state almost. So I'm going to need more caffeine. I'm going to start a coffee fund. All right, we've got a Supercell Thunderstorm currently over Highway 377 near Krugerville and Aubrey. The potential for a quarter to golf ball size hail with this thunderstorm. It's moving east. Oh, let's see. The Weather Service, I believe, has it about 30 miles per hour. So 20 to 30 miles per hour. As this thunderstorm moves off to the east, we'll check the velocity data, and there's a little bit of weak rotation southeast of New Hope over Oak Point. Nothing I would consider to be imminent in the I'm going to try and put a tornado down on your house department, but we'll keep an eye on it. For now, hail are issue with this, and that hail threat's going to extend into western Colin County and southern Grayson County before too much longer. Just a heads up, organizing supercell moving east-northeast 20 miles an hour, the potential for hail is increasing. This storm north of Azle over Reno has produced ping-pong ball size hail. It's, unlike the storms earlier, this storm is moving due north. This is a left split. So this could bring large hail to Fairview to Boyd, just west of Aurora. And we note this hail core now is over Newark too. So let's just go ahead and extend that. Reno, Newark, Aurora, Boyd. Moving up into Rome. This storm's moving north. So this could bring hail to Decatur, eastern Wise County, western Denton County. We've got a rotating wall cloud reported at Highway 380 and FM 423. So that's going to be the north side of Little Elm, right about here where we had weak rotation. Rotation remains relatively weak, but again, these are supercells. It's not rare to have a wall cloud with supercells. You just have to keep an eye on them to make sure they don't try and become intense enough to produce a tornado. Thunderstorm number 6 or number 7 going up south of Granbury now, north of Glenrose. Those are going to move northeast with the threat of hail. So we've got new storms firing. Let's just count how many storms are capable of producing hail right now. We've got one in northeastern Denton County. We've got one in northwestern Tarrant, southeastern Wise County. We've got one just west of Fort Worth, moving towards Eagle Mountain Lake and Azle. That's number 3. We've got number 4 east of Granbury, number 5 just southeast of Granbury, number 6 northwest of Blum, west of Blum into southern Johnson County. We've got hail larger than the size of golf balls reported northwest of Azle now, hen egg size hail. That is 2-inch hail in diameter. All these storms are capable of producing hail, and frankly, we've been real lucky we haven't had baseball or softball size hail yet. And that's because most of these thunderstorms have been fighting to become dominant in their local environment. We had multiple storms go up at once versus just, say, 2 or 3 storms that went up at once. That's why we're not dealing with baseball-size hail right now. But don't let your guard down. I don't want anyone to let their guard down and think, oh, all the storms went up at once. It's okay. We're not going to have tornadoes or super-size hail. No, we could have some hail problems for sure. This storm near Azle, you see how it doesn't look impressive? It's produced 2-inch diameter hail in the last 5 to 10 minutes. See this storm west of White Settlement? It could probably do the same thing as it moves across northwestern Tarrant County. All these storms are capable of producing big hail if they are in the correct environment and storm structure. This storm currently northeast of Morgan, moving towards Blum. Covington, 50 minutes from now. Potential for large hail, maybe a tornado. Same thing, Rio Vista. You could have hail here in about 20 minutes. If this storm turns more northeast, it could end up moving closer to Grandview, maybe Alvarado. We've got other storms trying to go up with at least a small hail potential right now. One east of Avant, one northwest of Gatesville, southeast of Hamilton, south of Cranfield's Gap. You see how small this thunderstorm is? Notice that little flying eagle shape? That's because that's a supercell. It's rotating aloft. These things are rotating as soon as they go up. Ah, cool, pretty colors. I broke the radar. Okay, radar's back. We note the green box. There's something we haven't had to deal with in North Texas for a while. We've got a flash flood warning for portions of Hood County, northwestern Johnson County, southeastern Parker County. That's going to be because we've had 5 or 6 thunderstorms move over the same areas, dropping heavy rain and hail. So, flash flooding potential there. We note thunderstorms trying to go up west of Bexar County. Those could be hailers. In terms of the tornado issues right now, frankly, I'm keeping an eye on 2 storms. One is already tornado warned, northeast of Morgan, southwest of Blum, moving east-northeast at 20 miles per hour into northern Hill County. Storm number 2, I'm keeping a close eye on regarding potential for a tornado risk in the next hour. Is this storm in northeastern Denton County? Right now it's a hailer, but it's shown some increasing signs of rotation aloft. Aloft being a key distinction. You don't want surface rotation because surface rotation's a tornado. This is aloft, but we're in an environment capable of a few tornadoes, and now that we're past 7 p.m., our low-level wind fields are going to start picking up a bit. That happens every night, typically. We have what's called a low-level jet. As the sun begins to set, or does set, and we have the start having some decoupling in the low levels of the atmosphere, we'll see winds pick up in intensity. And that's what we're going to have to keep an eye out for. So that is what we have going on right now. Sorry. Time to do some housekeeping real quick. I'm actually logging on to my website to make sure everything's doing okie dokie, that the live streams are working. I'm going to actually send out the live stream notification on our mobile app. As you see, once I start doing live coverage, I can't really do much in terms of social media. I can't look at Facebook comments, YouTube comments. I can't do much retweeting, even though I've got a Twitter dashboard up right in front of my face because that's how I maintain situational awareness. I can't make blog posts or do in-depth meteorological analysis, even with 8 computer monitors around my head. So let me make sure everything's good to go. And by the way, you can keep track of whatever storms are ongoing in your area or across the country with our weather radar on our website at texasstormchasers.com/radar. Or you can just download our free mobile app and use the radar in that and watch our live coverage. So what I'm doing real quick. So I want to make sure everything is set up. Rotation's increasing again with the storm moving into northwestern Hill County. Make sure we've got that looping. Okay, so we're good to go. Let's go ahead and get back into it. Good evening, I'm David-Reimer with the Texas Storm Chasers. It is 7:08 p.m. on the 3rd of May, 2021, a day famous in severe weather history, as many days are in early to mid-May. We haven't had anything that would make today historic in terms of a day to remember in the severe weather history books, but we are dealing with multiple severe thunderstorms across North Texas, the Big Country, and West Texas. West Texas being, and press that, zoom out. Radar data will pop on here in a minute. Or not. We've got storms in West Texas that are capable of producing large damaging hail. Some of these are going to make it all the way into Arkansas tonight. So the storms you see here from near Sweetwater, east of Colorado City, back to Post near La Mesa, Denver City, some of these are going to make it all the way into Arkansas tonight. That means they're going to move across the Big Country, North Texas, Northeast Texas. That's going to be round number 2 in several hours from now. So we could be dealing with hail issues for quite a while. We've got a wall cloud reported with the storm moving into Pecan Plantation north of Glen Rose. Let me send that to the Weather Service real quick. So we're going to go from south to north to describe what's going on right now in the severe weather department. Most storms are moving east-northeast at about 30 miles per hour. Some storms are moving due north. Those are left splits. Some storms are moving more east-northeast. Those are the right splits. When we're dealing with severe weather, we can often end up dealing with some left-splitting supercells, right-splitting supercells. It makes life a headache, I know. But this storm near approaching Blum is actually becoming quite intense now in rotation. It, in fact, had a report of a tornado. You can see rotations increasing now with a circulation coming into Blum in Northwestern Hill County. We just had a spotted report of a brief tornado with this thunderstorm. So again, those of you in Blum in Northwest Hill County, just east of Copperell, need to be in shelter immediately. Tornado potential is increasing rapidly, and we've had a brief tornado in the last few minutes. This storm is moving east, maybe a bit due north of east at a clip about 20 miles an hour. Sorry, I'm trying to be careful with the speeds because some of these are moving at like 10, some of these are moving at 40. So at present rate, this circulation will be near Covington in Northwestern Hill County, Highway 171, in 30 minutes. So about 7:40 p.m. Itasca, 50 minutes. So about 8 p.m. Don't take those times to the bank. But again, the circulation with this thunderstorm is increasing. Potential increasing rapidly now for a tornado near this town of Blum in Northwest Hill County. So again, winds in the pink are moving away from the radar. We're showing 80-mile-an-hour winds moving away from the radar. We've got winds moving towards the radar about 40. That is a 120-mile-per-hour, essentially gate-to-gate circulation. You see how the pink colors are touching the green colors? That's what we call a couplet, where we have the potential, where essentially we have a tornadic circulation in progress. Very high tornado potential now in Blum. This thing's going to be moving in or very near to Blum in Northwestern Hill County. This is south of the DFW Metroplex. Again, we're focusing on the most intense life-threatening storms. I'm not trying to ignore anyone else. If you've got a storm approaching your area, it could produce quarter to tennis ball size hail, winds up to 70 miles per hour. You can check on the storms in your area with our weather radar on our website at texasstormchasers.com/radar or in our mobile app at Texas, or just search for Texas Storm Chasers in your app store. So again, this is the which way the wind is blowing mode. We've got a very strong circulation, easily the strongest we've seen today. Winds moving away from the radar up in Fort Worth at 80 miles per hour now, 82 miles per hour. Winds moving towards the radar at 40. So the question here is this storm going to end up maintaining the circulation and putting down another tornado? Or was the brief tornado it produced about 3 minutes ago one and done? Well, based on the current circulation, I definitely bet on there being a high tornado threat over the next few minutes near Blum in Northwestern Hill County. So those of you in Northwestern Hill County, near the town of Blum, you need to be in shelter immediately. Thereafter, this circulation could move towards Covington and eventually Itasca. Those of you in Northwestern Hill County near Blum, be in shelter now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We even have a stronger gate-to-gate circulation now. Check it out. You've got winds 80 moving away from the radar, winds moving towards... that's not good. Let me stress this again. Blum, Northwestern Hill County. If you know anyone in Northwestern Hill County, south of Rio Vista, west of Covington, near Blum, text them, call them, make sure they're in shelter. Because this thing's trying to put down a tornado. In fact, it's already put a tornado down. It's trying to put down a much meaner tornado. You have winds now nearly 100 miles per hour moving away from the radar, winds of 40 moving towards the radar, essentially 140 mile per hour gate-to-gate circulation. This storm continues to exhibit extremely strong low-level rotation and signs of putting a tornado down at any point. Those of you in Blum, this is a situation that has quickly become life-threatening, and you need to take immediate action to protect your life and the life of your family. I'm going to actually make sure I'm streaming on Twitter as well. So again, those of you in Blum, I want you to be in shelter now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. All right? You should have been there 15 minutes ago. You need to be there now. I realize this is Texas. Everyone likes going outside and looking for the tornado. Folks, at this point, you're going to end up having a tornado in your house and Blum if you go outside and look for it. You need to be in shelter immediately. This is a situation where we probably have a tornado down, and it may be rain-wrapped. I just saw a picture. If there's something in it, it's rain-wrapped. And based on the circulation, I'd bet on there being a tornado. You need to be in shelter immediately. Looks like the tornadic circulation is trying to begin occluding, turning north, which means those of you in southern Johnson County need to take action now, too. If this thing starts hooking north, and like it just did, this may try and do something similar to what we saw on May 15, 2013. We had a circulation between Cleburne and Rio Vista moving southeast. Circulation started occluding or weakening, turned north, and almost brought a mile-wide tornado into Cleburne. That was 8 years ago. This storm, I don't think there's a mile-wide tornado down, but the circulation is starting to hook north. So those of you in Northwestern Hill County, and those of you down in southwestern Johnson County, I'd go ahead and start taking your tornado safety precautions. We need to check on other storms now. So let's go ahead and get back up into this area. It sounds like we've got a circulation spinning up now in western Colin County. Yeah, we do. Got a circulation near Prosper trying to spin up. This is going to be with the supercell I've been talking about now for, what, an hour and a half? So those of you in Okay, we've got a tornado warning now for Colin County. Tornado warning now for Colin County. This is going to be for northwestern Colin County in north central Texas. A lot of you are having your phones go off right now, so let's go ahead and explain what's going on. 2 tornadoes now. One near Blum, moving up into southern Johnson County. Second tornado near northwest of Prosper, near Salina, moving east-northeast. Red box is your tornado warning polygon. This includes northern Collin County, and that runs until 8 p.m. A potential developing tornado is located just northwest of Prosper, just southwest of Salina, moving east-northeast at 20 miles per hour. Tornado warning includes Prosper, Salina, Weston, Anna, Melissa, to the west side of Westminster. This warning does not include Little Elm, does not include Frisco, does not include McKinney, does not include Allen, does not include Princeton. This is a polygon. Tornado warnings do not include, are not county-based. They are storm-based. Potential tornado developing just west of Prosper. This would move towards Salina, Weston, Anna. Those of you in Prosper, Salina, Weston, Anna, Melissa, Westminster need to take immediate tornado safety precautions. That's going to be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Put on a helmet. Put on hard-soled shoes. If for some reason you got hit by a tornado, there would be debris. You don't want any flying debris hitting you on the head. A lot of folks have died from head injuries related to debris hitting them on the head during a tornado. A helmet will help protect you. A lot of fatalities would have been prevented over the last 15 years had the folks been wearing helmets. Hard-soled shoes are for if you do have a tornado impact your area. There's going to be broken glass, nails, wood splinters. You don't want those going through your feet. That's why you wear hard-soled shoes. Excuse me. So you want to go to the lowest floor you can. If you live in an apartment building and you're as low as you can get, hey, you know what? Do what you have to do, okay? That's what you can do. Get to your centermost room away from windows. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. It doesn't matter if you're in the southwest corner, the northeast corner, whatever random rumor you heard from the 80s or 90s, the same ones that say open your windows to help equalize pressure. All that is horse malarkey. It doesn't matter. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Centermost room, okay? So we've got a tornado warning for northern Collin County until 8 p.m. Possible tornado just northwest of Prosper, moving towards south side of Salina, Weston, Anna, Melissa. Potential for golf ball size hail or larger north of the tornadic circulation near Salina right now. Going back south, we have a possible tornado just northwest of Blum, and ooh, Bob, look at that circulation. That thing's wrapped up tighter than a fish hook in a something, I don't know. That's not good. So we have an extremely strong circulation just northwest of Blum right now. This is a circulation that is capable of putting a tornado down. If there's not one down now. This had Alex Bartholomew, one of our chasers, reporting power flashes north of Prosper. So that's a sign we have wind damage ongoing at this time. Potential for a tornado, if not a likely tornado in progress. Tornado just northwest of Blum. Winds 140 miles per hour gate to gate. We have a large tornado reported near with this storm now. Again, a large tornado is now confirmed northwest of Blum. This is a tornado down. Sounds like we may have had a tornado just north of Prosper. Our chasers are there reporting a possible rain-wrapped tornado just north of Prosper. We've got a large tornado reported by a storm chaser just northwest of Blum. Strong gate-to-gate circulation, winds over 100 miles an hour, moving away from the radar in Fort Worth. Winds over 40 miles an hour, moving towards the radar. That's a tornado. We've now got multiple reports of a significant tornado in progress northwest of Blum. That green dot right there, that's going to be your tornado debris signature. In fact, you can pretty much see the bounded weak echo region. That is the donut where winds and the mesocyclone or even the tornado are causing the rain to be expunged outward from the circulation. Large tornado in progress, 2 miles northwest of Blum, about to cross Highway 174. Those of you in Rio Vista, this is a tornado down. You need to be in shelter now. A large and extremely dangerous tornado is in progress 2 miles northwest of Blum, moving towards Rio Vista and Covington. This thing's moving more northeast now. So again, a large and extremely dangerous tornado is down 2 miles northwest of Blum, moving towards Rio Vista or Covington. Seek immediate tornado safety precautions now. We've got a storm capable of producing a tornado. It may have just had a rain-wrapped tornado just north of Prosper. This storm's moving northeast at 20. We've got winds, strong winds at least. We've had power flashes just northwest of Prosper by one of our storm chasers in the last few minutes. This is going to be moving northeast at 20. Those of you in Salina, Weston, Anna, and Melissa need to take your tornado safety precautions immediately. We've got strong straight line winds with this thunderstorm and a potential for a rain-wrapped tornado with this thunderstorm. Going back down to Johnson and Hill counties, we've got a tornado down in the last 5 minutes that was described as large. I'll go ahead and read the latest Weather Service warning. A confirmed tornado is located just northwest of Blum or 10 miles south of Cleburne, moving northeast at 15 miles per hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. So you can see we've got the circulation now about 2 miles west of Blum. It's weaker than it was a few minutes ago. It's still quite strong. There's still probably a tornado there. What we likely, and there's your debris ball. In fact, it doesn't get much more clear than that. Here. Press that. Right there. We're switching from the how hard it's raining mode to the tornado debris mode. You see that blue donut right there? That blue donut in conjunction with that couplet, that is debris being wafted, detected by the weather radar. That debris could be tree limbs, it could be pieces of structures, it could be various elements like leaves, etc. Regardless, we now have evidence on the radar to support tornado debris being lofted several thousand feet in the air. We've got spotters who have reported large tornado in the last few minutes, and we've got a very strong circulation with this thunderstorm northwest of Blum, moving northeast at about 15 miles per hour towards southern Johnson County and northwestern Hill County. Let me go ahead and clear the paintbrush. So that's what's going on now. Now, I'll say this. It looks like we're starting to have an occlusion process take place where this supercell is cycling, where the old tornado would dissipate, and in all likelihood, a new circulation would develop just northeast of the old one. We're going to have to see how that works. Storm north of Glenrose, I know, is showing some signs of rotation. We're going to have to watch that supercell carefully. Supercell up in northwestern Johnson County, northwestern Colin County, moving northeast at 20 miles per hour. Potential for extremely strong straight-line winds and a rain-wrapped tornado with this thunderstorm. It's more of a broad circulation than what we have down in Johnson County, but you know what? This thing could still be producing quite a bit of wind damage, if not a rain-wrapped tornado. So those of you in Prosper, Salina, Weston, Melissa, Anna, you need to take your tornado safety precautions. Lowest floor, sorry microphone, sorry people listening on microphone. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You want to put on hard-soled shoes. You want to put on a helmet. Helmet will help protect you from any flying debris. The hard-soled shoes will keep your feet protected if you have to walk over debris after a severe weather event. And these storms are all capable of producing large hail, quarter to golf ball size hail with most of these severe thunderstorms, but we're focusing on the most life-threatening storms at this point. which will be the one in Northwestern Hill County that's recently produced at least one significant tornado and still is based on the radar. And the second storm, potential of a rain wrap tornado and strong straight line winds in Prosper, Salina, moving towards Weston, Anna, and Melissa. Good news is, in terms of the Johnson County, because the storm's so close to the radar, we can kind of do some low-level analysis in real time. Circulation, let me go ahead and loop it. Let me turn some of these, I'm going to turn some of these warnings off. You can see this is the which way the wind is moving mode. You can see how strong that circulation became just west of Blum. And you can see it almost instantly started turning north and is now weakening. That's what we call the occlusion process, where the old mesocyclone, well, yeah, the old low-level mesocyclone starts weakening. Those will often result in a more poleward movement motion. What we're going to have to watch for is if a new circulation develops. Those would typically be a bit east or northeast of the prior circulation, so we might have some evidence of a new low-level circulation starting to develop near Blum, which would increase the threat to Rio Vista and Covington. A tornado warning is in effect, and let me be clear, a tornado is still ongoing northwest of Blum by 2 miles. Now, it's praying its rope out stage, but in all likelihood, this supercell isn't done. We note it's moving more northeast now than east, so this really increases the threat to southern Johnson County. Those of you in Rio Vista, Grandview, Covington, tornado warning. This thing's put down at least one significant tornado. We've had tornado debris detected on radar, so we have damage northwest of Blum, and this is moving towards Rio Vista, Covington, and Grandview in southern Johnson County. We've got a supercell developing in northwestern Johnson County and southeast of Granbury for like the 8th time this afternoon, moving northeast probably at, let's say it's, well, this one seems to think it's booking. I don't think it's moving at 56, but it's probably moving northeast, so we could have hail soon in places like Godley, Joshua, Burleson, and Briar Oaks. We've got a thunderstorm capable of producing golf ball size hail east of Decatur, northeast of Rome, west of Ponda, moving north in a hurry. This one's moving more north than northeast. We've got a conglomerate of thunderstorms, including a rain wrap circulation north of Prosper across eastern Denton County and Colin County. Potential for hail, damaging straight line winds, and maybe a brief rain wrap tornado. Let's look at the which way the wind is blowing mode, and you can see, yeah, we do have some evidence of a low-level circulation, but frankly, it is not a screaming tight signature like the one we saw down in Johnson County. And this is going to be with a thunderstorm currently in northwestern Colin County that has a tornado warning on it until 8. So those of you in northwestern Colin County, even if there may not technically be a tornado down this second, there's still likely a lot of straight line wind, a lot of hail, heavy rain. You want to seek shelter in the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Put on hard sole shoes. Put on a helmet. Again, this is going to be a tornado warning in the red box for Prosper, Salina, Weston, Melissa, Anna, west side of Westminster, in northern Collin County. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings aplenty across North Texas. Pretty much just assume if there's a storm in North Texas right now, it's producing quarter to golf ball size hail. We've got thunderstorms in the big country moving towards Abilene, Buffalo Gap, where we have a storm chaser friend. She's probably going to get some cool photographs of that storm structure. We know these thunderstorms coming towards Abilene are very photogenic. These are not tornado producers. These are hailers. We've got hailers northwest of Snyder, southeast of Post, northeast of Akerley, north of Seminole. These are going to be moving east at a decent clip. Some of them are going to make it to Arkansas tonight. So we're going to have another round with some hail coming in North Texas in a few hours from now from the west. But in terms of the short-term life-threatening issue, it's these 2 tornadic supercells in north central Texas. And, oh yeah, That wasn't supposed to be there, but you know what? It's May 3rd. Mother Nature's going to do what Mother Nature's going to do. We've got hailers in Bexar County. We've got a thunderstorm capable of producing golf ball size hail moving towards Bourne. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry. You can send me rage mail all you want. It's not going to change how I feel today. Storm, it'll pass southeast of Comfort. We've got another severe storm capable of producing quarter to ping pong ball size hail moving into western San Antonio. It's going to be north of Highway 90, coming up on 1604 and 151 in western Bexar County. San Antonio, this storm can produce large hail in Leon Valley as well. Flash flooding is going to be a problem considering we had such heavy rainfall a few days ago. So that's going to be a problem for Bexar County. Storm that's put down a large tornado about 20 minutes ago near Blum is going to be moving northeast at 20 miles an hour or so towards Rio Vista and Covington. Now, we are having a reorganization go on right now. We're going to switch back to the which way the wind is blowing mode. It's going to give you freaky colors for a second because my program's being very bad. In fact, I might have to reset the program. Yeah, I'm going to have to reset the program. One moment, please. Radar program resets. I drink some water. Bernie. I knew it was Bernie. You know, I knew I was going to do that. I've been told so many times that it's Bernie northwest of San Antonio. Not Bourne, but Bernie. I'm so sorry. I need to literally... I don't know why I have issues with towns down in the hill country. I really don't know why. I grew up with speech impediment issues, so that's part of the reason, but... Oh, there's going to be hate mail from that, I'm sure. Bernie. Thank you, vaccinated... or what? Hot-blooded EQ on Twitter. Thank you. All right, let's get back to it. So I'm David-Reimer with the Texas Storm Chasers, covering a severe weather event across several regions of Texas for the second time in a week. We've got a thunderstorm that's put down one big tornado in the last 20 minutes. Could be trying to recycle and develop a new low-level circulation northwest of Covington, north of Blum. This would be more of a threat to Grandview, maybe Itasca, just north of Itasca. Rio Vista, you stay in shelter. You're in a tornado warning. Until you're out of a tornado warning, you stay in shelter. You hear? We've got a second tornado warning. Excuse me. For northwestern Colin County. Of course, NWS chat would go down in the middle of all this. It's not a severe weather event if NWS chat doesn't crash at least once. Oh. That's not the fault of the weather service employees issuing these warnings. It's the fault of the IT department that got a lack of funding for years. Right. Fix your camera. It's cutting off your face. Hi. Oh, technology is being very mean to me today. Alright, so let me try and get this back up real quick. So we've got a thunderstorm capable of putting a tornado down in northwestern Colin County. That circulation's starting to get more impressive now. It's broad for the moment, but you can see we've got winds moving towards the radar down in Fort Worth at about 55 miles an hour. Winds moving away at 75. We're looking a few thousand feet above the surface here, but understand, we've got a pretty good mesocyclone with this thunderstorm, and it's definitely capable of putting down not only a quick tornado, but very heavy rainfall, significant straight-line winds, and hail. All right, so now I'm having to try and join a chat program in the middle of doing severe weather coverage. Most people on TV could do this while multitasking or whatever, because I have multiple folks to do it, but I don't, so I'm going to whine and complain about it and while I do it, because that's what I do. Okay, make sure I press that. All right, we just had a 45-mile-an-hour wind gust reported in McKinney. We've got rotation continuing between Salina and Weston, and that's what this circulation you see here east of Salina. Circulation is definitely starting to become more defined on the imagery, and if you think you're going to be able to see it in person, don't bother. That thing is so wrapped in rain and hail, it's ridiculous. The only way you're going to see it is if it's hitting you, and it's just going to look like a little hurricane because it's just going to be a bunch of rain bands flying around at 100 miles an hour or whatever. We'll take a look at our debris tracker, and there is not a big blue donut of doom, so that's a good thing. Let's go ahead and go back. Well, before I go back down, let's say it again. Salina, Weston, Anna, Melissa, you need to be in shelter. Tornado warning in effect. If the warning is extended, the tornado warning would probably include portions of southeastern Grayson, western Fannin County. This tornado threat is well northeast of Little Elm at this point. Those of you who might be hearing the outdoor warning sirens. All right, we've got a... Thank you to the person who just sent us hail video from Boerne, Texas. I said it right. You can't yell at me. We've got not as much low-level rotation detected with this thunderstorm near Blum. That very tight tornadic couplet you saw earlier with the very bright oranges against the bright greens northwest of Blum has dissipated. That circulation occluded or weakened. Now we're seeing a new circulation develop. You can see the inflow notch trying to pick up northwest of Covington now. That'll be moving towards Grandview. So rotation to low levels. We see a few areas of spin, and we see a few areas we're going to be keeping an eye on. But at least for the moment, I don't think we have a tornado down. We've got a storm over Godley crossing over 171 northwest of Cleburne. This storm is not showing any defined low-level rotation. It could have hail. It could have gusty winds. It's producing heavy rainfall. Let's go ahead and check on central Texas, south central Texas, since things have calmed down for the moment. We've got a severe storm capable of producing ping-pong ball-size hail in western Bexar County. East of Castroville, up towards Leon Valley, west side of San Antonio. Quarter-size hail, ping-pong ball-size hail could have flash flooding from heavy rainfall, and the fact this area received a boatload of rain over the weekend. We've got a severe storm coming into Boerne now, potential for ping-pong to golf ball-size hail. That storm is moving almost north-northeast at 40 miles an hour. The storm in San Antonio is moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. See what I mean when I say storms are moving in multiple directions and multiple speeds? We've got severe storms coming into the big country. We've got one storm west of Abilene that could drop a quick quarter to ping-pong ball-size hail in Hawley, down 277 to impact in Abilene. We've got another storm just exiting Sweetwater to the east, moving towards Buffalo Gap, Tuscola, south side of Abilene. Hailers in progress from southwest of Jayden to north of Snyder, moving east. Another hailer northeast of Ackerley. And then we've got multiple storms in West Texas trying to put some hail down as well. Some of these storms are going to make it into North Texas and the Metroplex a few hours from here. A few hours from here, a few hours from now. With the threat for some hail. All right, we've got a mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. All right, tweet that out. Make sure our live stream's being watched. Just got a cloud picture from Covington looking west. Send that into Fort Worth. Sorry for the typing sound. Send that. Rotation's apparently increasing up in Colin County. Let's go ahead and get on that. Thank you for the sunset view, Jed Thomas. Appreciate it. As we get past sunset now and it becomes dark out, we're going to have issues actually seeing anything. Yeah, we've got a very strong circulation now on radar. Let me go ahead and pull up some streets. Now, sorry, beard making nose itch. It's probably because I've been talking for a while. Let me be abundantly clear when I say we're looking several thousand feet above the surface. So even though I'm going to put some roads on here, I want you to realize thunderstorms are tilted. If there's a tornado down, it is likely not in the exact spot I'm pinning out on here. Would be just west of Weston Road at County Road. Come on. County Road 170. Moving northeast towards County Road 206. County Road 209. Yeah, we've got a tornado there. I'd bet on it. I'm going to go ahead and bet we've got a tornado down right now in northwestern Colin County. Very strong gate-to-gate circulation showing up northeast of Princeton, east of Salina, just south of Weston. That's going to be winds moving away. Winds moving towards the radar at about 60 miles per hour. Winds moving away from the radar at about 30, and a very tight couplet there. So in all likelihood, we could have a tornado down just southeast of Weston. Let's look at the tornado debris tracker. We don't see anything that would signify a tornado. Yeah, there's a little blue dot there, but that's not correlated with the couplet we're seeing here on radar. There's actually a weather radar I'm going to look at from DFW Airport. So again, tornado threat is increasing rather quickly now in northwestern Collin County. We've got a potential, if not probable, rain-wrapped tornado in progress about a mile or two south of Weston, moving northeast towards the city of Anna. I'd typically say town, but at this point, I think we're all just blowing up and getting big at this point. So, again, strong signs now that we have a tornado either in progress or developing just south of Weston. That'd be moving towards Anna. Whatever's there is rain wrapped. We've got storm chasers there. They can't see a thing. By the way, you can watch the live storm chasing video on our website on our YouTube channel, Texas Storm Chasers. It's also on the website. They just had some trees almost fall on them, apparently, from the inflow winds out of this thunderstorm. Their live stream's up. I'm actually watching it right now. I'm going to go ahead and put that up in my panel so I can watch. So, again, we do have a potential tornado in progress south of Weston at this point, moving northeast at, let's just go ahead and make sure we've got the speed correct. I'm going to guess 25, but it's going to be 25. I win a cookie. Do I actually win a cookie? Probably not, but you can see on the latest radar scan that very strong velocity signature is pretty much dissipated, but we still have very strong rotation evidence. So there is still the potential of a tornado just southeast of Weston moving towards Anna. Those of you in Melissa, you're in this tornado warning. You need to be in shelter. And that's exactly where you should be. In fact, we've had this warning out now for over 20 minutes. You should have been in shelter for quite a while now. Let me clear off these roads. And keep in mind, don't go looking for this tornado up in Collin County. You're not going to see it. If there's something there, it is wrapped in miles of rain and hail. Some of our chasers, in fact, I'm watching a live stream right now, just almost had some trees fall on them from the inflow winds going into the circulation. So they had to back out and retreat somewhat so they didn't have trees fall on them. So whatever's there is completely wrapped in rain. We have at least some very strong straight line winds ongoing, likely some winds in the rear flank downdraft on the backside of the circulation, and a potential for a rain-wrapped tornado. Let's go back down to the Johnson County tornado warning. We'll see what we've got going on down here. This is a supercell that produced a large tornado near Blum about 25 to 30 minutes ago now, and we're keeping an eye out to see if we have a new circulation forming. And there is some rotation, but there's no strong evidence of a tornado down at this second. Obviously, we have all sorts of suspicious radar features there. By the way, if you want to watch our live storm chasing feed, we've got meteorologist Jason Cooley out storm chasing today. You can watch his live feed on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Texas Storm Chasers, essentially. You can just search for Texas Storm Chasers, and you'll be able to find his severe weather storm chasing feed. I think it's DFW Severe Storms or something like that. So let's go ahead and review what we've got going on right now as we come up to 7:48 in the evening. I'm David-Reimer with the Texas Storm Chasers. It is 7:47. I like 7:47s. Sorry, AvBuff. On the 3rd of May 2021, we've got a couple severe storms in North Texas right now, capable of producing hail. We've got 2 tornado warnings, one for northern Colin County until 8 p.m., one for southern Johnson County and northwestern Hill County until 8 p.m. We've got a severe thunderstorm moving into Bexar County and San Antonio, capable of producing ping pong ball size hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, and flash flooding, especially in the northwest half of the city and Bexar County. We've got a severe storm in Boerne that's produced hail. It's going to be exiting Boerne to the north, moving into relatively unpopulated areas until it passes a bit west of Blanco, east of Fredericksburg, in about 30 minutes. And then we've got storms in the Big Country and West Texas. Those are all hailers. Could produce quarter to ping pong to golf ball size hail, maybe a bit bigger. Well, that's just nasty. Look at that hail course southeast of Post. We'll look at that real quick because that looks relatively unpleasant. And yep, that's unpleasant. That is the I'm going to drop baseball size hail on your roof kind of radar signature. So that's currently north of Snyder, southwest of Jaden. Southwest of Claremont. Looks like we're starting to see a bit of a circulation increase now with the storm approaching Grandview. Let's go back and look at that. We're going to do that now. I'm just going to take a quick peek on my radar and see what's going on up in southeast Oklahoma. It looks like we've got a potential tornado coming up on McAllister. Don't forget potential. That's a real nasty signature riding up Highway 69, what's 75 in Texas, but 69 Oklahoma, near Savannah, Oklahoma, moving towards McAllister, Oklahoma. So if y'all want to keep an eye on that, you can do so on our interactive weather radar on our website, texasstormchasers.com. Potential now for hail up to the size of tennis balls with the storm moving into San Antonio. That potential storm is near McDonough right now, moving towards San Antonio, Terrell Hills, Leon Valley, Chavano Park, Garden Ridge, Search, Marion, Santa Clara, New Berlin. Potential for hail larger than golf balls now, unfortunately. So let's switch back to the weather radar and we'll take a look. Now, reflectivity-wise, I realize it looks like the highest tornado threat is just east of Blum, southwest of Covington. Maybe something's going to develop there, but for now, we're actually watching a pretty tight little circulation try and spin up just southwest of Grandview. This would be literally 2 miles, if that, southwest of Grandview. We'll pick on some roads real quick. County Road 301. This is State Highway 81. And, well, I mean, you've got Grandview right here. So, potential for a brief tornado moving into Grandview over the next couple of minutes. If not that, some strong 60 to 70 mile an hour straight line winds. We'll switch to the debris tracker. We don't see any sort of blue donut of doom that would indicate tornado debris being lofted. So, that is good. Had 2-inch hail reported in Boerne at 7:30 p.m. We'll go ahead and turn off the telestrator, turn off that, there we go, and zoom back out. So let's take a look at a different product. This is going to be the estimated hail size that actually uses multiple weather radars across the region to try and determine the best hail size without overdoing it. So we've got a nasty hail core coming up on Covington from the southwest. There's one storm. We've got the hail core over Grandview to just south of Alvarado. The blues indicate the potential for golf ball size hail or larger. We've got multiple hail cores, one near Prosper, one near Van Alstyne, one near Tioga, some small hail west of Sainer. We've got hail cores across West Texas, one just northeast of Brownfield, one just north of Seminole. We've got one well southwest of Snyder. I don't know why it's not showing these towns. That's going to be a hail core just southeast of Gale, northeast of Ackerley. We've got hail coming into Hawley. We've got hail just southwest of Trent. And we've got a nasty hail core coming into San Antonio. This really is a repeat of Friday, isn't it? Good grief. We weren't even supposed to have storms south of I-20 today. It didn't become apparent until about 8 this morning we were going to have a problem with that. And even then, I don't think I expected severe storms in San Antonio proper. But lo and behold, Mother Nature will do what Mother Nature does, and like the late Al Mohler said, expect the unexpected when it comes to severe weather, and surprise, we've got a right-moving supercell moving into San Antonio, Bexar County. So again, the potential now for destructive hail, just like a few days ago. Here we go again, San Antonio. Destructive hail moving into San Antonio. The potential for golf ball to tennis ball size hail on the west side of San Antonio right now. Highway 151 at Highway 90, Interstate 410, Highway 151. Just south of Leon Valley. This is moving pretty much towards downtown San Antonio. You can see the purples and the blacks. We're seeing hail sizes increase significantly now with this storm moving into San Antonio. We're going to switch over to a different product that estimates the hail size. It usually goes overboard. But keep in mind, this is where the hail core is showing up on radar. And the hail core aloft, let me make this clear, aloft is approaching the size of 3 inches. At the surface, we could see 2 to 2.5 inch diameter hail. Just upgraded to baseball, so apparently this is reaching the surface. Potential for baseball size hail moving into downtown San Antonio now. This is going to be a dangerous situation. Baseball size hail, destructive hail coming into San Antonio. I'm going to actually make sure I can. Okay, we've got that. So again, destructive hail up to the size of baseballs coming into downtown San Antonio from the west. West side of the city right now, potential for baseball size hail. Not good. Not good at all. I'm going to go ahead and try and get some chats up real quick. But while I do that, let me go ahead and switch this back. So again, baseball size hail coming into downtown San Antonio. That's bad. We've got storms capable of producing golf ball size hail, maybe a bit larger. We've got one storm in northern Colin County. Let's look at the rotation. Now, the good news is, yeah, there's broad rotation aloft. It's much weaker than it was 10 minutes ago. The storm itself looks much more like a high precipitation supercell capable of producing heavy rain and hail. But we'll keep an eye on the rotation as well. I'm not sure we'll see this warning extended past 8 p.m., which is in 4 minutes. Down in Johnson County, we've still got a strong circulation crossing Highway 81 just south of Grandview now. So we might have a brief rain-wrapped tornado just south of Grandview, or at least strong winds moving into Grandview. We don't have any ground truth there's a tornado. The circulation isn't exactly super intense, so that's a good thing. We'll have to see if the Weather Service extends the tornado warning there. Otherwise, storm capable of producing hail out southwest of Godley. Probably moving northeast at about 25. That could impact Cleburne, Joshua in the next 30 minutes. Storm over Grandview looks like it's going to be moving into Ellis County over the next 30 to 60 minutes. The potential for $50 to ping pong ball size hail, winds of 60, and we'll keep an eye out for low level rotation. But at the moment, we're just watching and waiting. We're keeping an eye out for circulations, but we've calmed down somewhat compared to 30 minutes ago or 45 minutes ago when we had a large tornado northwest of Blum, which is a good thing. As we come up to 8 p.m., We have 3 minutes left on tornado warnings for northern Colin and tornado warning for southern Johnson and northwestern Hill. We'll have to see if any of those get extended or if we're going to be good to go to stick with severe thunderstorm warnings. No doubt these are both still dangerous thunderstorms, and we're going to keep watching them for low over rotation, that's for sure. But hopefully we can transition back to a wind-hail issue versus a tornado issue. See if we can get back into the various chat programs I would like to be in. Oh, looks like it. That's nice. So again, an incredibly dangerous thunderstorm is moving into downtown San Antonio. Very, very dangerous thunderstorm. Baseball-size hail. Folks, this is how the storm looks from the weather radar in Fort Worth. We're looking at San Antonio from Fort Worth. That's not good. We're going to switch to the actual San Antonio radar as soon as I figure out where it went. And you're going to see this thing is nasty. This thing could be producing baseball-sized hail in downtown San Antonio in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Now, let's see if we're going to have a tornado or not. So again, at this point, besides the hail issues, we're keeping an eye out on the potential for a brief tornado around Grandview in southeastern Johnson County. We've got hailers in the big country in West Texas moving east. We've got hailers in North Texas. In fact, we've got more hailers firing up from near Meridian into western Johnson County. This is what, the 8th or 9th storm that we've had fire up east of Granbury? Good grief. That's my response. Good grief. And with that, I'm going to watch Charlie Brown. Again, little circulation now over Grandview. No reports of a confirmed tornado, no debris signature, but it's probably pretty windy at Grandview right now. Whatever's there is completely and utterly wrapped in rain. That being said, it's now 8 p.m., the 3rd of May, 2021. Good evening. I'm David-Reimer. We currently now have no tornado warnings in effect. We had a large tornado northwest of Blum, well, northwest of Hillsboro. I said no tornado warnings. Can you guess what just got issued? We've got a new tornado warning now for southeastern Johnson County and a sliver of western Ellis County. This is going to be until 8:30 p.m. A potential rain-wrapped tornado is located over Grandview and Interstate 35W, just northwest of the Hill, Johnson County line. This storm is 9 miles south of Alvarado, moving northeast at 20 miles per hour. This tornado warning does include Grandview and does include Maypearl. It does not include Alvarado. It does not include Hillsboro. It does not include Waxahachie. It does not include Ennis. It does not include Italy. This is a small tornado warning. And what we're looking at is the potential for a brief tornado near or a bit east of the city of Grandview in far southeastern Johnson County. This is a high precipitation supercell capable of not only producing some large hail, but a brief rain-wrapped tornado. We'll take a look up in northern Colin County. Notice we no longer have tornado warnings up here. We've got severe storms producing heavy rain, hail, damaging winds, maybe some localized flooding across from near Collinsville to Howell to Van Alstyne or Van Alstyne, whatever you prefer. Don't send me hate mail. Moving into Anna, Melissa, Weston, Salina. We've got storms producing hail, damaging winds, heavy rain in Fannin County. Moving towards Bonham from near Bailey to Leonard to Trenton to Whitewright, south of Bells, east of Lulia, east of Sherman. In other words, it's wet. It's not a great time to be out driving. We're keeping an eye out for any circulations that may try and develop. We don't see any strong rotation signatures right now. Maybe a little weak rotation southwest of Whitewright. In the rain, maybe some weak rotation with the supercell over Melissa moving up to Anna. But otherwise, these are mainly hailers right now, which is a good thing. We've got storms south of DFW from Johnson County moving into Ellis County, Northern Hill County. Meridian, you're probably getting another round of small hail right now. And we've got some storms producing hail east of Glen Rose to near Godley. Down in south central Texas, we've got very nasty supercells capable of producing baseball-sized hail in the city of San Antonio. I may have just broken my weather radar. It may be angry at me. It probably just crashed at me. We've got a tornado reported 2 miles southeast of Grandview in southern Johnson County. So that circulation we were just talking about is putting a tornado down about 2 miles southeast of Grandview in Johnson County. We'll go back and look at that once the radar is done crashing. And again, you can track all the storms in your area with our interactive weather radar on our website, texasstormchasers.com/radar, or just download our free mobile app and you can do it that way too. We've got live coverage on our blog as well, which you can watch in our app, on our website, etc. We're streaming it live on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, even Twitch. So again, baseball-sized hail with this thunderstorm in San Antonio. Not great, not ideal. Hail cores come down a little over the last 10 minutes, so it might not be up to baseballs, but you know what? It's not good. It's not good. We already had a $1 billion hailstorm last week, or hail day last week, and now we're trying to do it again. Okay, so we've got a reported tornado about 2 miles southeast of Grandview. I'm going to assume with this circulation showing up here, we're keeping an eye on the reflectivity structure with this thunderstorm near Covington. Obviously, that's a pretty nice looking hook appendage, but it's just not really showing too strong of a rotational signature right now. But yeah, we're going to watch it. Storm moving into western Ellis County. We've got heavy rain in Midlothian, Venus, Alvarado. Those storms there, heavy rain, maybe some hail. That's not the tornado. We've got a storm maybe dropping some hail in Rendon, Everman, Kennedale, moving into Mansfield. The issue is that storm's right next to the weather radar that's in Burleson. So let me switch to the radar in Abilene. It's farther away, but it gives a bit of a stronger signature. Yeah, we just got a report of some small pea-sized hail there with the storm near Rendon. You can see we've got a hail cores aloft from just southwest of Joshua to near Godley, west of Cleburne, east of Glen Rose. Those storms are moving northeast, not very quickly, mind you, only at about 15 to 20 miles an hour, but could produce hail up to the size of golf balls, wind gusts up to 60. In terms of a brief tornado threat, that would be rain-wrapped. We're concerned about this circulation right now about 2 miles southeast of Grandview. And we're also watching a interesting little signature west of Itasca. But for now, we're pretty confident we've got a tornado down about 2 miles east of Grandview in this general area, moving towards Maypearl. Now, let's go ahead and put a telestrator or a distance marker on this, and we'll see how far this is from Maypearl. So those of you in Maypearl, you've got a probable tornado down about 7 miles to your west right now, generally moving in your direction. So those of you in Maypearl, you're under a tornado warning. That means you need to go to your lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You want to put on a helmet, put on hard-soled shoes. Helmets to protect your head from any flying debris. The shoes are to protect you from stepping on broken glass, pieces of wood, etc. Now, the tornado is likely about 3 to 4 miles east of Grandview in the rain. Obviously, the reflectivity signature down by Covington's concerning too, so we're going to keep an eye on that. But for now, the actual tornado is here about 4 miles east of Grandview, 7 miles southwest of Maypearl, moving towards Maypearl. So that's what's going on. Don't go out looking for it. It is so wrapped in rain you wouldn't be able to see it if you had infrared night vision. But you might, actually. That'd be interesting to test. Still, I wouldn't recommend it. So those of you in far southeastern Johnson County, this circulation is east of Interstate 35W now, east of Grandview by a few miles. You need to be in shelter. The only population center in terms of a town in the warning east of that is going to be Maypearl in southwestern Ellis County. This circulation staying way south of Cleburne, way south of Alvarado, way south of Midlothian, way southwest of Waxahachie, way north of Hillsborough. So your gate-to-gate circulation is that little donut right there. Got a new tornado warning. I'm going to assume it's for this hook echo. Yep, okay, so remember what I just said about there not being a tornado warning for places like Waxahachie? Cancel that. You've got a tornado warning now. Let's go ahead and talk about it. We've got a new tornado warning now for northern Hill County, southeastern Johnson County, and a good chunk of Ellis County. Let's go ahead and say who's in, who's out. This tornado warning is going to include the cities of Grandview, Itasca, Maypearl, Foreston, and Waxahachie. Again, this tornado warning does include the city of Waxahachie and Ellis County. Tornado warning runs until 8:45 p.m. This is somewhat of a long fused tornado warning. That's for this new developing circulation west-northwest of Itasca. Let's be clear. We've got a tornado down right now about 4 to 5 miles east of Grandview up in the rain. Hopefully that's going to be dissipated soon. We've got a new circulation with what's becoming the dominant supercell 3 to 4 miles northwest of Itasca, moving northeast at about 25 miles an hour. This storm will be very near the city of Waxahachie in 1 hour or less. That's why there's a tornado warning out that far. It's to give folks in Waxahachie a bit of time. So understand, Supercell, this one that's becoming dominant, notice how there's nothing south and east of it. This is what we call the tail end Charlie, the dominant supercell. It's able to dominate its local environment and take advantage of all that unstable, juicy air to its south and east. We've had some messy-looking supercells today. We've had some well-structured supercells today. This one's trying to become a well-structured supercell in terms of its reflectivity signature. So, again, there's not a tornado down with this circulation east of Covington, northwest of Itasca right now, but I'd say the potential for there to be one over the next hour is increasing, which is why there's a tornado warning. The potential also exists for hail up to the size of golf balls with this dangerous thunderstorm. So let's go ahead and zoom back out and take a regional look again. We've got severe storms from near Burleson to Joshua to Godley, west of Cleburne, down east of Glen Rose. Potential for golf ball size hail. Those are not tornadic. We've got a strong storm under severe limits near Morgan to just east of Meridian. No low-level rotation detected. That storm's not severe at this time. We've got a storm in San Antonio dropping nasty hail, apparently. And then we've got nasty storms out from in the big country and west central Texas capable of dropping golf ball size hail. And then we've got a kind of pretty much a cluster of storms now from near Kalispell to Whitesboro to Sherman to Van Alstyne, whatever you prefer. I said them both, so you can't yell at me. To Whitewright, to Tombing, to Bells, to Ector, to Bottom, to Bailey, to Trenton. These storms are capable of producing winds up to 60 miles per hour, maybe some quarter-size hail, and we'll have to keep an eye out for some localized flash flooding, especially in those low water crossings. But in terms of the life-threatening, I'm going to cause big problem situation, storm, that storm is currently the one north of Hillsborough, a bit east of Covington, northwest of Itasca. This storm will stay well north of Hillsborough. This storm will stay well north of Carl's Corner. This storm will stay north of Milford. Italy, this should stay north of you, but if this storm were to some reason turn more to the right and move east, that would put you kind of more in the path. You see all these lightning strikes showing up? This thing's shooting lightning way south of where it's raining. So, this thing's shooting out lightning like there's no tomorrow, which for the storm, there isn't a tomorrow, fortunately. But, so keep in mind, we might have some grass fires getting sparked up here north of Hillsborough with all these lightning strikes out in no precipitation. Capable of golf ball size hail. Primary hail core, this storm would generally kind of be from, well, you know what? Let's just look at the radar estimated. We'll do that. We'll try to do that. It kind of hates me. There's no kind of. It really does hate me. We've got two little hail cores showing up. One southeast of Alvarado, south of Venus. Potential for maybe some quarter-size hail there. We've got our bigger hail core with our intensifying supercell just north of Itasca, east of Covington. That's going to be making its way into southwestern and west central Ellis County over the next 30 minutes, passing near or a bit south of Maypearl, and then eventually could make its way up towards Waxahachie. If this storm's kind enough to turn right a little, we might be able to thread the needle between Waxahachie and Italy. If it doesn't, it keeps moving northeast, this is going to be an issue for Waxahachie. If it turns too far east, it's going to be an issue to Italy. Obviously, we don't want anyone getting hit by any severe weather this evening, but I'd rather it take the path of least population density. I don't know. So again, we might actually have a rain-wrapped tornado still in progress halfway between Maypearl and Grandview. That is really in the rain, but there's a circulation there. And that would be, let's see, I'll tell you, that would be about 5 to 4 miles west of Maypearl and about 4 to 5 miles east of Grandview. So that's your circulation. The winds in the pink are moving away from the weather radar up in Burleson at about 60 miles an hour. Winds moving towards the radar at about 13. So about a 70 mile per hour gate-to-gate couplet. That's not super strong, but certainly tight enough we could have a weak tornado in progress wrapped in rain. So that's why we've got a small tornado warning around Maypearl. That has been kind of encompassed or eaten by a larger tornado warning that runs from near Itasca and Grandview, where circulation is currently just northwest of Itasca, moving northeast towards Maypearl, Waxahachie, and could pass near Foreston as well. We've still got hail falling in downtown San Antonio. I haven't heard or seen any hail pictures yet, so maybe the storm was kind enough not to drop baseballs in San Antonio. I'd really like to avoid a billion-dollar hail disaster storm today. Speaking of hail, we've got hail falling in Briar Oaks to south side of Burleson, just south of weather radar. That's where the purples are. That's going to be moving towards Rendon, Kennedale, Everman, Mansfield, Grand Prairie, South Arlington. The storm may not look as intense as it could be aloft because it's literally right next to the radar. So let's switch to the radar southwest of Breckenridge, near Moran, northeast of Abilene. You can see, yeah, we've got a hail core aloft. And that's going to be moving into Tarrant County over the next 30 minutes of potential first quarter, maybe some golf ball size hail. I'm kind of worried about some heavy rain flooding issues with that too. That looks like a lot of heavy rain. We've got a nasty hail core southwest of Cleburne. That could be golf ball size hail, maybe a bit larger. That's going to be moving towards the city of Cleburne over the next 20 to 30 minutes. The good news is with those storms is they're kind of it's a small line segment. We've got multiple storms trying to fight it out again, which is good because you don't want storms to become dominant. It can be bad if they're moving over the same areas and dropping heavy rain in the same places. I do want to keep an eye on these storms, though, just in case they try to develop some low-level rotation. I don't think they are, but given the environment, we keep an eye out for little notches. You can see we don't really have any super strong rotation. We actually do note a microburst just southeast of the weather radar in East Burleson. Winds of about 65 miles an hour showing up. So that might be a nasty little microburst. And we just got a report of 2-inch diameter hail on Interstate 35 and Division Street in San Antonio. So, okay, we have big hail falling in San Antonio. That's not great. But again, we're focusing on the most life-threatening storms, and those are currently the storms that could drop tornadoes just south of DFW. We'll go take a quick look at the storm in San Antonio. You can see 2-inch hail fell in downtown San Antonio. Hail core will be east of downtown San Antonio in the next 10 minutes, moving towards China Grove and Kirby. A potential for tennis ball size hail. Apologies. You try talking for hours on end and see how your throat does. So again, Kirby, China Grove, potential for It looks like they're saying ping pong ball size hail now, so that's good. Maybe some ping pong ball to golf ball size hail, not baseballs now, fortunately. In places like China Grove and Kirby in the next 5 to 10 minutes, moving towards St. Hedwig, New Berlin, and Marion on Interstate 10. We'll have to see how that storm goes. We've got a storm capable of producing golf ball size hail west of Blanco and Highway 281 and 163. That'll be staying west of Blanco, moving up towards Johnson City. Should be in Johnson City by about 8:35 p.m. The potential for large hail. Let's go back up to DFW. As we look from San Antonio, one benefit sometimes from looking for multiple weather radars is you can see different signatures. We notice a hail core firing up in southwest Johnson County, southwest of Cleburne. That be moving toward Cleburne and Rio Vista. And then we've still got a very strong updraft with the supercell north of Itasca that's tornado warned. Now let's go to the Fort Worth radar and get a good look at the low levels of these storms. Possible tornado now just east of 35W. Pretty much on the Hill, Johnson County line. Moving northeast at about, I think they've got it at 25. I don't think there's a tornado down at this moment. It could develop one, though. It's got good reflectivity structure. You see how we've got precipitation from Maypearl to Waxahachie. Then we've got that little inflow notch, the area of no rain. That's where inflow winds from the south and southeast are being ingested by the Supercell Thunderstorm. This hook on the backside over 35W from Grandview to just north of Itasca, that's your rear flank downdraft, or the rain, maybe some small hail, and then strong winds on the backside of the thunderstorm, the backside of the circulation. That's called the rear flank downdraft, sweeping in. The tornado would, if one were to develop, would likely be in that little hook echo region at the tip of the hook on the south side. At this moment, we're not seeing strong low-level rotation on radar, but the reflectivity signature certainly says this is a supercell to respect, and that's why we've got a tornado warning in effect for portions of Ellis County, Northern Hill County, and literally a sliver of southeast Johnson County. Again, a tornado warning until 8:45 p.m. A potential developing tornado is about 4 miles northeast of Itasca, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. This tornado warning includes Maypearl, Waxahachie, Forestburg. It includes a sliver of southeast Midlothian. We've got a potential rain wrap circulation just about 3 miles west of Maypearl. That looks less impressive than it did. To be honest, I would expect the circulation that moved from near Grandview to Maypearl to eventually dissipate, and for our dominant circulation to become this one that's just northeast of Itasca. That would lower the threat of a tornado to far southeast Midlothian, would increase the threat of a tornado in places like Maypearl and south, Forestburg, and Waxahachie. Not Forestburg, Foreston. My apologies. And so that's what we're watching. Camera is off again. I don't know why it's doing that. My apologies. Let me see if I move this microphone. It's doing it again. Show my face. Thank you. Here, let's do this. There we go. That might help it a little. Y'all should actually, you might be able to hear me a bit better. I'm actually talking a bit closer to the microphone now. So, it's 8:21 in the evening on the 3rd of May. Good evening. I'm David-Reimer. We've been in continuous severe weather coverage now for about 2 hours. We're tracking the most intense thunderstorms that are capable of producing large damaging hail, strong straight line winds, and the potential for a few tornadoes. We've been streaming live storm chasing video on our YouTube channel for meteorologist Jason Cooley, and we are continuing our severe weather coverage this evening. The only tornado warning in the state of Texas at this moment is in far northern Hill County, southwestern and central Ellis County, and far southeastern Johnson County. Give it another 10 minutes, the threat of a tornado will be done for southeastern Johnson County from this thunderstorm. I think the dominant threat of a developing tornado is with this hook echo that is in northern Hill County. That'll be moving into Ellis County. That being said, the low-level signature is not particularly impressive right now velocity-wise. The reflectivity structure is. And other storms in this area have produced tornadoes in the last hour and a half, which is why we've probably got a tornado warning now. Just to respect the fact this thing could try and put a tornado down. The hail core aloft is increasing, which is a sign of intensification with this thunderstorm and a potential intensification of the mesocyclone. The mesocyclone is what eventually could produce a tornado. The mesocyclone is essentially the mid-level portion of the thunderstorm that's rotating, which then would extend down as a low-level circulation. If the circulation becomes strong enough, it could put down a tornado at the surface. At this point, I don't think we have a tornado down. Could this put a tornado down? Yes, that's why there's a tornado warning. We've got a hail core west of Rio Vista, northwest of Rio Vista, moving towards Cleburne, the potential for golf ball size hail. We've got heavy rain and maybe some hail falling in places like Rendon, Burleson, Joshua, and, well, moving into the city of Cleburne. I guess I need to go ahead and put out our live streaming severe weather coverage link again on Twitter. And for those just joining, we'll go ahead and look at the Red River storms too. My apologies. We've got storms now on the Red River north of Whitesboro on 377. Those could have golf ball size hail as they move towards Kingston, the west side of Lake Texoma. We've got a weaker section of showers and storms from near Pottsboro to Knollwood to Sherman and Denison. Could have gusty winds there. Could have strong storms capable of producing some hail, gusty winds, heavy rain from Whitewright to Ector to Bonham to Dodge City to Honeygrove. All these storms are moving northeast, and we're looking farther away from the radar in Fort Worth, but the good news is those storms, frankly, with the exception of the one north of Whitesboro, don't have too much of a hail signature, which is good. We'll switch to the hail product on the radar, and yeah, we've got maybe some quarter-size hail in spots, approaching Honeygrove and Bonham. Golf ball size hail north of Whitesboro, but I'd be more concerned about a strong straight line wind threat with these storms at this point. The good news is they're moving northeast. They will move into Oklahoma shortly. We note there's storms up in eastern Oklahoma that are also severe. We've got a tornado warning now east of McAllister. I haven't seen any reports out of McAllister. 70-mile-an-hour straight-line winds, so it looks like McAllister at least didn't get hit by a tornado earlier. That's good. As we switch back into the big country, give an overview. These are storms may make it into North Texas later this evening. We'll have to keep an eye on them. These are hailers. This one northwest of Rotan, is a big hailer. The Weather Service has it warned for golf balls, and this thing might put down enough golf balls to make it look like it snowed. We've got another severe storm just southwest of Snyder, moving east-southeast towards Sweetwater. Could eventually say hello to Abilene. We've got a severe storm currently west of La Mesa on Highway 180. That should pass near or a bit south of town. We've got a strong storm near Tahoka with some small hail. And then we've got something beautiful in West Texas. Lots of heavy rain. These storms around Mulchu to Sudan to Littlefield, up to Hereford, up to Amarillo. Lightning, maybe some small hail, gusty winds. They're not severe, but they're putting down good, beneficial, loving rain. That is good to see. They really need rain out there. All right, let's go back to our storms back in North Texas. Oh, good. Storm southwest of Cleburne is starting to show more substantial supercellular characteristics. We'll switch over to the hail size indicator. You can see a pretty nasty hail core up to the size of baseballs on radar aloft, not at the surface. Let me make that clear. The radar often overdoes the hail estimates. That being said, if you're west of Rio Vista, southwest of Cleburne, I'd say there's a good chance there's at least golf ball size hail coming down. The hail core is getting more intense. We're starting to see some increased rotation as well. So apparently we're going to have to keep an eye on this storm southwest of Cleburne as it moves east-northeast. Supercell over Maypearl, moving east-northeast towards Waxahachie. Keeping an eye out for any low-level circulation. There's some broad circulation. I'm going to turn the severe warnings off here. There's just too many boxes. And here's the latest tornado warning update. This is going to be until 8:45 p.m. for Ellis County. A severe thunderstorm capable of locating a tornado is A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Maypearl, or 15 miles southeast of Alvarado, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. This dangerous storm will be near Maypearl at 8:40 p.m. Well, I would hope so if it's located near Maypearl, but the tornadic portion of this storm looks like it's going to pass near or maybe just south of Maypearl. The hail core is over Maypearl, moving towards Waxahachie. The potential tornadic circulation, if it were to continue in a straight line, which I don't think it will, it can wobble left, it can wobble right, would cross Interstate 35E in about 30 minutes near or just south of Waxahachie. The hail core has a higher chance of passing through most of Waxahachie, the potential for golf ball size hail. Again, we're after dark now. Do not go outside looking for these things. You're going to see a lot of lightning. And frankly, most folks don't know how to look for differentiating factors between just lightning and what might be power lines arcing. I'm not going to go into a storm spotter lesson right now, but let's just say it's a dangerous chasing storms during the day if you don't know what you're doing. At night, no, not a good idea. Especially if we're dealing with potential rain wrap circulation. So we have not heard any reports of any tornadoes over the last 20 minutes, which is good. The radar signatures are showing rotation. They are not showing super tight, violent rotation. That being said, the storm in southern Ellis County may be trying to become a little more organized. We'll have to wait and see. It seems to be fighting some outflow. Let's do some fun radar analysis. You see the hook echo here. As we switch to the radar is which way is the wind blowing product. You can see this. The differentiation between winds moving away from the radar in Fort Worth and the winds moving towards. You see how that outflow, or the winds moving out from the hook, are about half a mile to a mile east of the hook. That might mean this storm is having issues ingesting inflow, temporarily reducing the tornado threat. That being said, it wouldn't take much for this circulation to spin up. So that's why we have a tornado warning, given the fact these storms have already produced tornadoes this evening south of DFW. But there's a little severe weather meteorology radar analysis tip. Okay, clear that, turn that off. I realized that could change in 5 minutes. It wouldn't take much for this thing to start spinning up more, and frankly, that might be what it tries to do. We'll have to keep an eye on this hook and see if it tries to wrap around the rear flank downdraft and increase its organization. I mean, it does look like in the mid-levels it certainly is. On other software I'm using, I'm getting alarms going off now about increased organization with this thunderstorm in Ellis County over the last 5 minutes. So it may not have a tornado down now. That is not to say it can't put one down here soon. In fact, it could easily. So that's why there's a tornado warning till 8:45 for Maypearl and Waxahachie and Foreston in Ellis County. Midlothian in Venus, you're not in this tornado warning. I guess far, far, far southeast Midlothian, well southeast of town might technically be, but the potential tornado is going to stay well southeast of Midlothian. The hail core? Hopefully. And San Antonio got pelted by hail. Now, to those of you in South Central Texas, my apologies. We're focusing on the most life-threatening storms right now. Yes, hail is dangerous, hail is bad, but hail is usually not as life-pressing as a tornado. That being said, if you are outside and you get hit on the head by baseball-sized hail, it's going to kill you. So please don't do that. Got a supercell over China Grove moving a little more east, and yeah, I do notice that little hook echo. Please don't take what I just said about not being as serious as a tornado literally and try and make me pay attention to 2 storms and 2 metros again. That wasn't fun last week, and I really don't want to do it again. So again, severe storms now exiting San Antonio to the east after numerous reports of hail. some of which was up to the size of baseballs. These storms are generally moving east at 25 miles an hour towards New Berlin, St. Hedwig, Lavernia, and could eventually make it to places like Stockdale. If it turns a little more northeast, Seguin. We've got a severe storm capable of producing quarter-size hail in Johnson City. That storm's moving northeast towards Marble Falls. Could be there in 40 minutes, maybe some quarter-size hail. Looking from San Antonio, what we're going to do, another little radar trick. If you look from different radar sites, at this point we're looking 150 miles away from these storms in southern North Texas. It allows you to see the trends of the updrafts. Yeah, I could just look up in tilts from the Fort Worth radar, but we're already looking from a different one, so do it this way. You see how the storm over Ellis County is starting to ramp up with its reflectivity signatures aloft? Same thing with the one in Johnson County. That means some increasing hail potential and can also mean the storms are intensifying. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. And Ryan Chef, if you're still watching, let me know. This thing's still showing strong mid-level rotation in Ellis County, which is why there is a tornado warning. Yes, the low levels may not be super duper organized in the rotation department, but given the fact we have very strong rotation in the mid-levels of this storm, it warrants keeping the tornado warning, because it wouldn't take much for this to translate the mid-level rotation into the low levels and put a tornado warning. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Chelsea. Let's all thank Chelsea for keeping an eye on our comments section this evening and responding to those. And apparently, a lot of y'all have been sending stuff in, and I'll thank y'all a bit later. But while we're on multiple content platforms, I want to focus on the severe weather issues ongoing. It's 8:34 in the evening. I'm David-Reimer with Texas Storm Chasers, also providing severe weather coverage for our content partner, DFW Scanner, who graciously allow me to do this when we've got severe weather in the area, so more folks can be kept up to date. We've got a supercell capable of producing a tornado near Maypearl. You can see the hook south of Maypearl by a few miles. This is moving northeast towards the city of Waxahachie. I was hoping it might stay a bit south of town, but it is trying to track a little more northeast. The reflectivity structure is organizing a bit more. You kind of see, here, let me illustrate. Something we look for. You see how this is starting to do that in the hook? That might mean the rear flank downdraft is trying to wrap around, which could increase the potential of a tornado in the coming 15 minutes. We're in wait-and-see mode, honestly. This thing has not put a tornado down, and it seems to be fighting its outflow a bit. But this thing has very strong mid-level rotation, which is why we're concerned, especially since storms a bit farther west did produce tornadoes. Regardless of the tornado threat, this thing's probably got golf ball size hail moving towards the city of Waxahachie. We'll go ahead and switch on the the hail estimator. Now keep in mind, this is for hail sizes aloft, not necessarily at the surface. It's a decent idea of what's aloft though. Golf ball size hail, fairly large section of southwest Dallas County. We'll go ahead and loop this real quick. You can see, one, we've got golf ball size hail moving into Cleburne. Two, it looks like the hail core is trying to trend a little farther north in Ellis County. So we might see some hail in southern Midlothian here shortly, maybe some quarter to ping pong ball size, while the threat of a tornado would be south of Maypearl. And again, I mean, it doesn't take a meteorologist to see we've got a hook echo, so I'm going to drink some water real quick. My sinuses have decided to do what sinuses usually do in allergy season and start stuffing up. All right. So, yes, we have a hailer in Johnson County. It's probably hailing in Cleburne right now. That's going to be moving up 67 towards Keene and Alvarado. Maybe even north or southeast Tarrant here in a bit. Hail probably in Midlothian right now. Potential for hail crossing 287. We'll switch to the, not that. Oh, it's pretty colors, but not what I was going for. The hail estimator, you can see we've got possible hail falling in South Midlothian. That could move towards Red Oak. Got some hail May Pearl. Excuse me. That was unintentional. Very professional. I'm sure I'm going to get comments about that. Sorry. And then we've got the low-level circulation southeast of Mayport. It's looking a little more organized. But still not the classic signature of a tornado. But we have a tornado warning for Waxahachie, Maypearl, southern Ellis County. And I crashed my radar program again. Well, let's reload. I'm being laughed at by trillions of people for accidentally burping on a live stream. Yeah, wasn't intentional. I'm sorry. You do this for several hours and sometimes... Yeah. We'll have to keep an eye on central Texas as well. We know some storms are trying to go up on the dry line again from near Lampasas to Gatesville. If those go up, they could try and become hailers, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. Even if it is after sunset now, the dry line still doesn't want to go to bed. So again, hail in Cleburne, moving towards Keene and Alvarado. Potential for some hail in Midlothian, moving towards Red Oak, Ovilla, Pecan Hill. Potential for some hail east-northeast of Maypearl, moving towards Waxahachie. And the potential for a developing tornado southeast of Maypearl, hopefully passing just south of Waxahachie here in a bit. And we're going to go to the big country real quick, because I just saw a storm got warned for baseball-sized hail. I'm going to assume it's this one east of Ronan. That's bad. That is as much of a wind-driven hail signature as you might ever see. Those of you who know anything about radars know that the energy returned by a radar beam is measured, well, essentially like this. The stronger the return, the brighter the colors, the higher the reflectivity values. 78.5 dBz is extremely high. Like, that's a crazy amount of energy being returned to the radar beam. This storm could be dropping softball-size hail. I'll just say it that way. At this point, this thing could be dropping wind-driven softball-size hail east of Roden, moving towards Hamlin and Anson. Now, thankfully, this is over a mainly rural area. But again, would not be shocked if there was wind-driven softball-size hail out of this storm. We've got a less intense-looking storm capable of producing ping-pong ball-size hail southeast of Snyder, moving towards Sweetwater, could eventually mosey its way down Interstate 20 towards the city of Abilene. Baseball-size hail reported Roland Avenue and Interstate 10 in San Antonio. Baseball-size hail reported near Zarzamora and Saunders in San Antonio from about 8:10 p.m. So we've got multiple reports of baseball-sized hail produced at San Antonio earlier. All those yellow icons are reports of severe hail earlier. I really hope we didn't just have a $1 billion hailstorm. We've already had multiple in the last week. We don't need more. Does Mother Nature care? No. Am I whining? Yes. But I know I have a good friend who works as a insurance adjuster to assess hail damage and stuff, and he has been unbelievably busy the last few weeks. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom back in on this Ellis County cell. It's starting to look a little more organized in the rotation department. You notice how that hook has gone from a almost north-south orientation. It's starting to wrap a bit. It might be the rear flank downdraft starting to wrap around, which could increase the potential for a tornado. We notice winds now of about 70 miles an hour moving away from the radar in Fort Worth, winds moving towards the radar at about 45 to 50 miles an hour. Now, that's over a couple mile radius. That's a broad mesocyclonic rotation. If that tightens up, where you see the pinks and the bright greens come pretty much right together, that's when your threat of a tornado really increases. But over the last few minutes, I think it's becoming clear this thing's trying to put down a tornado or moving towards it. As you look at the loop, you can see we're actually starting to get a more impressive velocity signature. There. I muted before I made a burpee this time. The burp is still going. Our internal chat here at Texas Storm Chasers. I'm not going to live that accidental burp down for a long time. Oh well. All right, let's switch back to the which way the wind is or the how hard the rain is falling, where the rain is falling, blah blah blah. The rain mode. You can see hail core, Midlothian to Waxahachie, a pretty large hail core to be honest in terms of its area of coverage. Could have some quarter, maybe some golf ball size hailstones. It's not looking like baseball's falling out of this storm right now, but could still see pretty wide coverage of some hail as the storm crosses 287, at least the hail core portion. The tornadic portion of this storm is down southeast of Maypearl, moving towards the south and southeast sides of Waxahachie in Ellis County. One reason we're concerned, let me see if it'll show up well. Nope. This kind of shows the rotation decently. You see how it's elongated right now, the reds and yellows, elongated rotation. That's a sign we're trying to tighten up a bit, but we just haven't been able to yet. You can see it's kind of broad still. The pinks and the reds moving away from the radar in Fort Worth, the greens moving towards the radar in Fort Worth. That's your broad area of rotation. But this hook is still there, and it's trying to kind of wrap up back into the storm, and that's when you can see a tornado possibly develop, or at least the potential of a tornado possibly develop. I'm going to have to reset the radar program again. And I'll say this, it's actually starting to get real tight now. We'll show that. But those of you in just northwest of Foreston to south of Waxahachie, I'm pretty sure we've got a tornado trying to plant itself down. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have a new tornado warning on this in a moment. We don't have one this second, but just assume there's going to be a new one here from just south of Waxahachie to Foreston. There it is. So let me go ahead and switch you back over to the which way the wind is blowing mode, and you'll be able to see we're starting to get a tight circulation. Now I'm looking at a different radar source than, or a different radar product than y'all, so I can actually see it more clearly. But the radar in this version of the program has de-aliased, whatever. It messed up a bit with the reds there. Right there, we're seeing a pretty strong gate-to-gate circulation develop. That's going to be just north of Foreston. Let me go ahead and I will put some roads on there. I'm going to turn the telestrator off. You see how the hooks now become, well, instead of just being vertical, it's now become somewhat horizontal too. I really think we do have a tornado trying to put itself down right now, just northwest of Foreston. Again, roads. This would be, now this is probably 2-minute old data by now, so whatever tornado, if there's one there, is going to be east of there, but that would be near Bethel Road and Height Road, moving towards Height Road and Johnson Road. There's the latest scan. And in terms of a tornado threat, I'd say it's the highest it's been in about 30 minutes. We'll switch back over to the which way the wind is blowing mode. We'll get a new radar scan in just a second with that. And yeah, right there. Again, I'm looking at a different radar product that doesn't fold over the colors as easily. But yeah, there's a pretty strong rotational signature right there. Let me turn the paintbrush off. We'll do some roads. It's going to be very near Johnson Road, Height Road, Hollis Road. Yeah, Pecan Tree Road and Interstate 35. It's Pecan Road, or Pecan Tree Road, excuse me. That's Interstate 35. That's going to be where a potential tornado is near. So those of you in Foreston, those of you west of Venice, need to take your tornado safety precautions immediately. This thing, after trying to organize for about 45 minutes now, has done so and has turned more to the right. This new tornado warning does include the city of Ennis, Garrett, Bardwell, Alma, Palmer. Does not include most of Waxahachie. If you're in south of Waxahachie, I still want you to be in a safe place, but the tornadic portion of the storm looks like it's going to stay south of Waxahachie. I'd say there's a pretty good chance we have a tornado trying to develop now 1 to 2 miles northwest of Forestburg. Now let me clear the roads. Hail portion of this storm could have some hail falling in Midlothian down to Waxahachie right now, moving towards Glen Heights, Red Oak, Pecan Hill. The tornadic portion of this very large thunderstorm is about 2 miles northwest of Forestburg, moving towards the city of Ennis. Ennis, you've got about 30 minutes. Bardwell, Lake Bardwell, you've got about 25 minutes. Garrett and Alma, you're in this tornado warning as well. Midlothian, Ferris, Red Oak, you are not in the tornado warning. You're dealing with heavy rain, hail, severe storms, not a tornado. The tornado issue is about a mile northwest of Foreston. And it looks like we do have a tornado debris signature now, so we do have a tornado down. Okay, so we could go ahead and say we've got a confirmed tornado very near Interstate 35, maybe a mile west, about 2 miles north of Foreston. What we're going to do is you're going to see that little donut right there? I'm going to turn this smooth. Yeah, we'll keep it on. It's your donut right there. In conjunction with the hook, that is debris that is being lofted by a tornado. The radar is able to identify that debris because it's not the same shape or size as the surrounding hydrometeors, like raindrops or hail. In this case, the debris is all sorts of shapes and sizes. Could be leaves and twigs, all the way up to pieces of a house or a business, etc. So we do have a confirmed tornado now just about to cross Interstate 35E, about 2 miles north of Foreston in Ellis County. So this has become a dangerous situation. Nobody and their mama should be on Interstate 35E right now, south of Waxahachie. We've got a tornado down, doing damage, about to cross 35E. And I'll try and put some roads on here real quick. At Johnson Road and Interstate 35E. That's going to be about, there, I'll measure it. From the center of Waxahachie, this is going to be about 6 miles south of the center of Waxahachie. Forestburg, this is maybe 2 miles north of town. Tornado that is down, doing damage, about to cross Interstate 35E. About 2 miles north of Foreston. I don't know why I'm saying Berg, I'm sorry. Foreston, about 2 miles north near I-35E and Johnson Road. Switch, you've got the little donut debris ball there. You've got a very well-defined hook echo. And then you've got extremely strong gate-to-gate rotation. So you've got tornado debris signature. You've got very strong rotation and reflectivity structure. You've obviously got a very impressive hook echo. We've got a tornado down. So those of you north of Forestburg, Forreston, you need to be in a safe place immediately. And this storm is making a beeline for the city of Ennis. Bardwell, Lake Bardwell, especially the north side of Lake Bardwell. I am quickly... Just out of curiosity, there's a tech stock camera right at 35E in Johnston. All right, here's a new scan. A tornado is crossing Interstate 35E right now, about 6 miles south of Waxahachie, 2 miles north of Forreston, near Johnson Road. We'll get a new radar velocity update in a minute, but you can see we've got a little debris ball there. We've got a very strong circulation gate to gate. We've got winds moving towards the radar at about 70 miles an hour, winds moving away at about 45 miles an hour. So we've got a 105 mile per hour gate to gate circulation. I really wish TxDOT would stream live, or not just do still images for their traffic cams online. If we were able to watch a live TxDOT feed right now of the cameras, we'd be able to see the tornado. So again, I'm pretty confident we've got a tornado down right now that just crossed Interstate 35E near Johnson Road, and 35E about 6 miles south of the city of Waxahachie, about a mile or two north of Forreston. This is a circulation that might keep going for a while. You can see we've got a very well-defined hook echo, very well-defined supercell, and this thing is going to be making a beeline for the city of Ennis. Ennis, you've got less than 30 minutes before this thing comes into the west side of town. Whether it's still down or not, that's another question, but right now it's down. We've got, hail, gusty winds in places like Briar Oaks, Alvarado, down to Grandview and Covington. Sorry, my sinuses are closing up on me, so I will spray them to doom later. For now, we're going to deal with this. And for those of us on Twitter, we just retweeted a sunset picture and a hail photo. By the way, you can keep an eye on all these storms with our interactive weather radar on our website at texasstormchasers.com/radar, or just download our free mobile app. You can use our radar in that too, and get notified when we put out new forecast posts. All right, there's the new radar update. We still have a very strong circulation now east of Interstate 35E. A bit northeast of Johnson Road. Let me go ahead and clear Johnson Road, and we'll try and get some new roads on here. Now, we're looking a few thousand feet above the surface, so I want to be clear. The tornado may or may not be where the radar shows it in terms of the exact location. You need to give it some space. What I'm doing right now is I'm labeling some roads in the area. Okay, let's go do this reflectivity structure. You've got your little tip of the hook there. Kind of see a little bounded weak echo region in the middle of it. Looking at your velocity. There, we'll switch. You've got winds moving towards the radar about 40 miles an hour. Winds moving away from the radar about 75 miles an hour. So let's just say 110 mile an hour gate-to-gate circulation. Look at the debris tracker, and one thing you have to look for sometimes, you need to see if that debris or that signature is correlated with a high enough reflectivity value, and it is. That's debris being lofted by a tornado. And I'm pretty confident about that. So I'm confident in saying we have a tornado down right now at the tip of this hook, just east of Highway 77, just east of Interstate 35E, passing just north of East Pecan Tree Road, moving toward Harrington Road. And then this could pass near Hunter Pass, hopefully staying just south of Lakewood Drive, and then it's going to be crossing Highway 287 around Pig Road or Pimlico. And again, this is southeast of Waxahachie by about 5 to 6 miles. Now, this isn't a completely evident super couplet. I'm not saying this is a mile-wide EF5. Most of our tornadoes are not the mile-wide violent variety, but I do think this has been a tornado down for probably 5 to 10 minutes. Now, the latest scan's coming in, and it looks like it's starting to broaden out a bit. We'll let the latest reflectivity structure, or the latest reflectivity scan come in. We'll zoom out a bit. And again, Garrett, Ennis, Bardwell, Alma, south side of Palmer, you're in this tornado warning. Areas just southeast of 280, or just southeast of Waxahachie, you're in the tornado warning. The commercial shopping areas between Waxahachie and Ennis. I know we've got a movie theater and a bunch of stuff just northwest, just southeast of Waxahachie on 287. In fact, that might be what all this stuff is here. I can't remember for sure. It's been a few years since I took the drive down 287 past 35. But any commercial, the theater, all the fast food places, the restaurants between Waxahachie and Ennis on 287, you need to be in a safe place. You should have been in a safe place for 15 minutes now. Okay, looking at the latest velocity, you can see the good news is the couplet has weakened a bit. So if we had a tornado, it is possible it has weakened or dissipated. It wasn't one of these long track tornadoes. That hook echo is still quite evident, though. So this thing could put another tornado down at any point and at any time. Let's go ahead and check other things real quick. Let me turn off the road feature before it lists every road in the Metroplex and I end up blowing my computer halfway to China. We've got a storm capable of some small hail north of Denton, south side of Sanger, moving towards Aubrey, Krugerville, Pilot Point. That's not a severe storm, it's just some small hail. We've got a severe storm likely approaching Hugo, Oklahoma on the Red River north of Paris. That could have some hail moving away from the Red River in Texas. We've got storms in eastern Johnson County capable of producing gusty winds, some quarter-size hail, maybe a bit bigger. We do know some strong winds near Grandview showing up on radar, up to 70 miles an hour. So we might have some strong straight-line winds with this thunderstorm south of Grandview. That's not a tornadic circulation, that's just a strong straight line wind signature. And then we've got strong storms extending down the dry line, which looks like it's firing up all the way from near Blum to Clifton to west of Crawford to Gatesville to Lampasas, west of Fort Hood and Colleen to near Marble Falls on 281. Some of these storms are likely to become severe with the threat of large hail as they move east towards Interstate 35. So Hillsborough, Waco, Temple, Belton, keep an eye out. Storms to your west are firing up. They may move your way, and some of them could be hailers. Now, the good news is, this circulation, after probably putting a tornado down near Johnson Road and 35E, 6 miles south of Waxahachie several minutes ago, has become much less defined. You can see we don't have those bright pinks against the bright greens anymore. So this storm seems to be cycling. We're still going to have to keep an eye on it, though. But hopefully that weakening trend will continue. So tornado warnings still in effect. The very short term, by very short term, I mean the next like 3 to 5 minutes, the tornado threat seems to have lowered a bit. While that's ongoing, let's go ahead and take a look at the hail trackers. Could have some hail falling in south side of Red Oak to Pecan Hill, rural Ellis County, northeast of Waxahachie, into the city of Waxahachie. Could have some pockets of hail all the way back through Maypearl to Grandview, to Blum, to northwest of Whitney, just north of Lake Whitney. Those would be moving east-northeast. And we note those additional thunderstorms firing up just east of the dry line now from Clifton to Gatesville to Lampasas are showing signs of some small hail too. We'll have to keep an eye out on them just in case they try to become hailers. Let's take a quick look at this Sound Denton County. It might actually be strengthening here at a pretty good clip. It is. I didn't realize that storm didn't exist 10 minutes ago. So in that circumstance, yeah, this storm north of Denton near Aubrey Pilot Point is actually intensifying pretty quickly. We could have some nickel-size hail with it now, and it may try to become severe with quarter-size hail or a bit larger as it moves towards Tioga and Collinsville in southwestern Grayson, far southeast Cook County over the next 20 minutes. The remainder of Collin County, Tarrant County, most of Dallas County, you're not dealing with any severe storms right now. There's a strong storm moving into Bulk Springs and Mesquite. It could have some small hail, gusty winds, heavy rain. Looks like some gusty winds. And yeah, I saw that little... Is there a reason you don't want to load the radar correctly? Let me get rid of those. And yeah, I saw that little inflow notch there. I don't know if that's just a random feature, but yeah, there's a little bit of weak rotation with that. But at the same time, it's very weak and not a tornado threat, but there might be some gusty winds in far southeast Dallas as that storm crosses Highway 175 moving into Bulk Springs. The only tornado warning we have right now is with this storm that put a tornado down near 35E and Johnston Road about 10 minutes ago. I can tell something crossed the interstate because every traffic cam there just went out. I'm not necessarily saying it was a large, strong tornado, but I'm willing to bet we had at least a small tornado cross 35E about 10 minutes ago, 6 miles or so south of Waxahachie. I'm going to look at Google Maps and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say something did because traffic's really tied up in that spot. Got a report of a funnel cloud. Reported Okay, sorry, I was multitasking. Good news is the circulation in Ellis County, southeast of Waxahachie, is much less defined now. The supercell no longer has that classic hook echo. That being said, out of respect for the storm, we're going to keep the tornado warning, and by we, I mean the National Weather Service, is going to keep the tornado warning going for now. It runs through 9:30, and you can see they just updated it. The polygon is much smaller now. So a possible tornado just southeast of 287 and 287 business that goes up through Waxahachie, where that merges on the east side of town, moving northeast towards Garrett. South side of Palmer, north side of Ellis. Alma, you're no longer in this tornado warning. Bardwell, this is going to stay 5 to 10 miles to your north. You're good from this storm. Those of you in Palmer, Garrett, and the north side of Ellis, keeping an eye on this storm. Move into a safe place as it approaches your location. That's going to be the lowest floor. Center room away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And those of you traveling on 35E, heads up. It looks like there's going to be some traffic problems about 6 miles south of Waxahachie. I'm pretty confident we had at least a small tornado cross the interstate there. So I don't know what the implications are, but Google Maps is showing traffic at a dead stop there. So the polygons you're seeing here are issued by the National Weather Service in Fort Worth. The orange are severe thunderstorm warnings. Yeah, I should have a banner that tells you what those are, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. Bad David. And the red box is a tornado warning. These are issued, adjusted, etc. by the Weather Service in Fort Worth. We've got a severe storm currently now north of Lake Whitney, west of Hillsborough. Looks like it's got a pretty good hail signature on it. That could make its way towards Hillsborough, Carl's Corner. If it moves more northeast like some of the other storms, it'll move towards Italy, Milford, south side of Ellis County, who seems to be our hotspot of the last 30 minutes. We're showing around Maypearl, as we look at the which way and how hard the wind's blowing, we've actually got a very strong straight line wind signature. Radar is showing winds well over 75 miles an hour, aloft, a few thousand feet aloft, mind you. So very strong straight line winds, up to 70 miles an hour. Look like they're occurring from just south of Maypearl to northeast of Itasca. These are going to cross Interstate 35E in the same spots that had the probable tornado about 15 minutes ago. So if for some reason, well, I say for some reason, if there's damage in this area and we've got emergency crews out and about, heads up, you've got 70-mile-an-hour winds coming in the next 5 to 15 minutes. We've got very strong winds shown in this little Boeing line segment moving towards Italy, Milford, and eventually Bardwell. So again, the potential for straight line winds of 70 plus miles per hour with this little Boeing line segment from around Maypearl moving towards Italy in southern Ellis County. Sorry. Severe storm with some hail. Interesting little hook appendage north of Whitney moving towards Hillsborough, Carl's Corner. We'll keep an eye on it. It does not look tornadic at this point. It might be right behind some outflow, so that would help reduce the tornado threat. We'll check on this storm currently in moving into Western Bell. Why did I say Bell? I'm tired. McLennan County. And also a big thanks to Facebook that actually just blocked our moderators from responding to y'all and answering questions. So Facebook just blocked us from answering questions on our own live stream. That's great. So now that it looks like the threat of severe weather in the immediate metroplex has calmed down, I do want to point out we've got more storms out west of Abilene that could make an appearance several hours from now with the threat of large hail. They're moving east now at about 50 miles an hour. You extrapolate that out. About 2.5 to 3 hours before they get to Fort Worth. So keep an eye out, Western North Texas. You're probably going to have some hailers come visit you soon. But for now, we'll go ahead and let our DFW scanner audience go, and we'll continue the severe weather coverage on our Texas Storm Chasers media platforms. All right, and we continue. I'm going to yell at Facebook. I'll go ahead and turn off Jason's live stream. I think he's done. So yeah, thanks Facebook for not letting us respond to our own live stream comments. That's great. So, those of you who, by the way, you can join us. We prefer streaming live on YouTube. That's our favorite platform to stream on. If you have comments, you want to interact with people, feel free to jump onto our YouTube channel. That's where we stream most of our live storm chasing video that most of you on Facebook have no idea what I'm talking about right now because Facebook doesn't show you the post we make about it. And we are also able to keep up with our audience a little more efficiently. So let me go ahead and turn off some things. I'm going to actually reset the radar real quick. Sorry, I'm multitasking. We're hearing reports that there are problems on 35E where that probable tornado crossed about 6 miles south of Waxahachie. They're unconfirmed at this point, but we know it sounds like there are multiple 18-wheelers that have been rolled, and it sounds like there have been some possible injuries with that. And actually, I guess it sounds like that there are already several media stations at DFW already showing video and pictures of that. So, yeah, that's not good. And that's why we don't want folks driving on the road during a tornado warning. That tornado warning had been out for, 40 minutes before it crossed the interstate, and yet we still have people that get hurt. It's just bad news bears. But let's get back to it. We've got a severe storm capable of trying to put down another tornado currently east of Waxahachie. It's less organized than it was earlier, which is a good thing. I'm hopeful that means we can get rid of this tornado warning and stick with the severe thunderstorm warnings. Or not. We'll have to keep an eye on it. I mean, there's still a broad rotation with this storm coming towards Palmer now, and that little hook echo's trying to come back. So, those of you from Palmer to Ferris into southwestern Kaufman County around Combine, you know what? Yeah, you might be under a tornado warning sooner than later, so get ready to move to your safe place. Also, now that we're on our own platforms, I guess I can thank y'all real quick. I've heard that a lot of y'all have been giving Facebook stars and super chats. Thank you. I don't have any of the chats open right now because I'm having to focus on severe weather, but I really do appreciate it. We don't get paid by any sponsors or anything to do these live videos. We just do them because we want folks to be weather aware. So, with that being said, I'll shut up about that and get back to the severe weather coverage. We've got a new tornado warning now for northeastern Ellis County and southwestern Kaufman County in north central Texas. That runs until 10 p.m. A potential tornado near Palmer, 7 miles northwest of Ennis, moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. That's going to be this little hook echo between Palmer and Waxahachie. A broad circulation near the arrow there, and this is going to be in Palmer in less than 5 minutes, and moving towards the city of Kaufman. Kaufman, you've got an hour. Expect this thing to be on your doorstep by 10:15 p.m. Passing through areas south of Combine in about 20 to 30 minutes. Near Roser, sooner than that. And again, this thing actually is starting to ramp up in the rotation department again. Starting to get some alarm bells thrown out. And then we've got this bow echo in southwest Ellis County and central Ellis County. That thing's got some hail. That thing's got some wind. If by chance we have any emergency responders listening or dispatchers listening to this, tell them on the interstate, whoever's working the injuries from the tornado on the interstate, they're about to have 70-mile-an-hour straight-line winds, heavy rain, and hail within 5 minutes. We've got a supercellular structure with this thunderstorm just southeast of Covington, the potential for some hail. I'll just turn on the hail tracker since it's not easy to see a particular hail core on the radar. You can see we've got some hail indicated on radar north of Whitney, northeast of Lake Whitney, moving towards Hillsboro, Itasca, Carl's Corner. This is going to be outflow dominant, it looks like. Or winds pushing out from the thunderstorm. So for now, not really much of a rotation signature. We'll keep an eye on the one east of Lake Whitney. Either my roommate is making dinner and something burned, or my computer is catching on fire. The more I smell it, I think it's dinner. So, that'd be good. I don't really want my computer catching on fire tonight. Just had some pea-sized hail reported up in Denton County. By the way, the storm I was saying was trying to be severe earlier near Pilot Point, Tioga. It's severe. Potential for quarter to ping pong ball size hail as it moves up 377 towards Collinsville, Whitesboro, South Maid. I'm sure I said that wrong. I'm sorry. Passing just west of Sherman and west of Knollwood. Could eventually say hello to Pottsboro. The potential for hail up to the size of ping pong balls. I need coffee fund. So again, we're watching a couple storms. This one coming into Palmer, starting to try and ramp up in the rotation department again. This produced a tornado about 25 minutes ago that has caused injuries and 18-wheelers to be rolled over on Interstate 35E about 6 miles south of Waxahachie. That's why you don't be in a vehicle during a tornado. Vehicles get rolled and tossed and all sorts of unpleasant things that can cause problems. Circulation's actually looking pretty decent right there. If you're in Palmer, you need to be in your safe place. This thing's trying to put a tornado down as it comes into town. And that's going to be making its way towards Kaufman County. The northwest of Hillsboro, we're going to keep an eye on it. It looks outflow dominant, which would keep the threat of a tornado low. But again, we're going to watch it. We've got a storm going up west of Waco, Western McLennan County, moving towards Crawford with some small hail. We'll have to keep an eye on that for some rotation just in case, but not worried about that right now. Let me switch to the Granger radar, which is only down when you least or when you need it most. You've got storms currently from just south of Lampasas to Buchanan Dam to just west of Burnett, capable of producing quarter to ping pong ball size hail. Those are moving east at about, let's take a guess and say 35 miles an hour. So this could result in some problems on 35E from Waco to Georgetown in spots. Sorry, I'm watching video. I'll tell you, it's not good. The situation on 35E, where that tornado crossed, it's not good. I just watched video. Multiple injuries, some entrapments in commercial vehicles. It sounds like one of the vehicles was thrown into a field. Folks, that's why when there's a tornado warning, even if you're driving and your phone starts going off, you need to pull over, get more information, and if you're in the path, you need to take shelter. You just don't keep on driving. I mean, how many times do we have to stress that? Don't ignore the tornado warnings. You ignore them, and this is what happens. People get hurt, people get killed. I'm hoping people didn't get killed tonight, but it's not a good story on 35E. No commercial deliveries worth getting thrown in a field over. Strong straight line winds up to 70 plus miles an hour showing up, about to hit the same areas that got hit by the tornado about 30 minutes ago. Those we're about to have 70 mile an hour straight line winds hit the tornado damage on 35E near Johnson Road in Ellis County. So that just adds insult to injury. Emergency responders there need to be and get back into their vehicles while this hits. Luckily, it won't stay there long. Got this hook echo west of Hillsboro, northeast of Whitney. Fortunately, appears to be outflow dominant, where the winds from the thunderstorm are pushed out ahead of the circulation by several miles. Should keep the tornado threat really low with that. We're going to have to watch his storm west of Crawford as it moves towards Interstate 35E. In the event it ends up intensifying. Could have some hail. And then we've got severe storms with hail from near Kingsland to just west of Burnett to southeast of Lampasas. Those could try and visit Interstate 35E in central Texas. This evening, we've got our long track supercell that dropped baseball size hail in San Antonio an hour or so ago. That has now moved to just south of Seguin, crossing Highway 123. The potential for tennis ball size hail with that thunderstorm. We've got severe storm passing just southeast of Tioga. We'll actually switch back to that. East side of Pilot Point, just southeast of Tioga, the potential for golf ball size hail or larger now increasing. If this storm turns a little more right, it's going to try and pay Sherman a visit. Potential for damaging hail increasing. Southwestern Grayson County now, moving towards South Maid and Sherman, kind of where Preston hits up with 82. We still have severe storms out in the big country north of Anson near Stanford. The potential for wind-driven destructive hail moving towards Looters on Highway 6. Looters, I'm probably saying it wrong, I'm sorry. And Albany on Highway 180 in the next 1 hour. And then we've got storms trying to fire up on the dry line now across southern North Texas. And then we've just got nasty storms. From near Hillsborough up into Ellis County, hurricane force straight line winds possible, along with wind-driven golf ball size hail. Have a potential of a tornado now northeast of Palmer. Well, no, I say, is that right now? You know, I say that. It's honestly, you've got the reflectivity structure, which would suggest a hook echo just west of Palmer. You look at the velocity, and there's nothing there on velocity, but there's some rotation northeast of Palmer, southwest of Combine. I mean, it's entirely possible we have a rain wrap circulation, but either way, we don't have a clear, distinct signature right now. And we're about to have the thunderstorm further west meet up and ingest this supercell. Strong winds now of 70 plus miles per hour, likely crossing Interstate 35E. Just south of Waxahachie to near Italy, the potential for additional issues where we already have significant problems from a tornado earlier that crossed 35E near Johnson Road. We had a tornado debris signature, a 100 plus mile an hour gate-to-gate circulation. Multiple 18-wheelers were thrown, or rolled over. We've heard of a couple vehicles thrown into a field. And we know there are people trapped, and we know there are injuries. We've heard the injury reports aren't great, but we're not going to share that kind of information without verification. That's what the PIOs, press information officers, are for at the local agencies, so we'll know more soon. Starting to see a bit of a circulation try and spin up east of Whitney now, kind of farther south than the storm up here was earlier, but whether or not that's just some straight line winds or actually a circulation trying to spin up, we'll have to keep an eye on it. But again, regardless, we have some strong winds southwest of Hillsborough moving east towards the interstate and town. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to actually go grab myself some caffeine. I'm going to keep the live stream up, but I'm going to take a couple minute break with no audio. Let me go ahead and zoom out. I'm going to turn the regional radar on, lower the cities down a bit. And again, I'll only be gone like 3 minutes and then I'll be back, but I need to get some caffeine. Let me get rid of some of this lightning. We know there's lightning with thunderstorms in May in Texas. Not really that much of a surprise. And alas, I will be right back. Alrighty, tidy. I'm back. I'm David Reimer with the Texas Storm Chasers. My apologies for the brief absence, but sometimes you just need caffeine. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we have going on across the state. Let's start with the tornado warning first. This supercell that is near Palmer and Ferris is being ingested by a larger complex of storms coming in from the west. Now, in the short term, that could actually cause a circulation to increase somewhat. I've got to reset the radar. Sorry, it's actually, for those technical, this is a 32-bit radar program I'm using, and sometimes it gets a bit overloaded. I think it's got a memory leak that the developer actually just fixed, but I don't know if that patch has been sent out yet. But you know what? It's okay. I've been using this program for years, and I like it. It's called WSV3. Okay, so this supercell that's being ingested around Palmer might actually briefly spin up the circulation, but thereafter this complex will absorb the supercell and hopefully we can be done with the circulation. In fact, there's not much of a circulation showing up on radar right now. So hopefully, we are done with that, because that supercell produced a tornado which crossed 35E near Johnson Road. Those of you watching, in fact, you can go back and watch it. We were covering it live down to the roads. Unfortunately, has produced multiple injuries after the tornado flipped multiple tractor trailers, and it's not good. All right. Oh, situation reports. All right, so we've got now a small line of thunderstorms, almost a bow echo, extending from near Seagoville to Ferris to Waxahachie to Italy to south of Itasca to Hillsborough. This line of thunderstorms is capable of producing damaging straight-line winds up to 70 miles per hour, in addition to the threat of maybe some hail up to the size of $50. The hail threats come down considerably now that these storms here have lined out. We'll switch and look at the hail tracker, and you can see most of the reds, that's going to be about quarter size hail. This isn't really much of a big time hail, and by big time I mean like baseballs. Hail maker as much as it is a wind and rain maker. So damage in straight line winds can be as dangerous as a weak tornado. So you still want to get away from west facing windows. You don't want to go outside and play in the rain while there's a bow echo hitting you. And we'll have to keep an eye out for brief circulations that try and spin up on more intense leading sections of the squall line. For example, this thing just west of Ennis has a little bit of an appendage on it, but not really much of a rotational signature, which is good. But those pinks you see there, those are winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour being indicated by weather radar. My apologies, my voice is actually starting to go out. I'll drink caffeine in a minute and try and jumpstart it. Okay, you got the storm just north of Hillsborough. Does not look like a tornadic supercell whatsoever. I would expect this just to be undercut by some stronger outflow, but we'll keep an eye on it. You have to do that with tail end Charlies or storms on the tail bottom side of a squall line or in a region where you've got sorry, multitasking, where you've got an unimpeded warm sector. Storm near Valley Mills and Crawford certainly has the appearance of a supercell. Potential for some hail with that as it moves off to the east-northeast. What is going on with this thing? Is it so difficult? There we go. Thank you. As it moves east-northeast at about 25 miles per hour. If it turns a little more right, it's going to pay Waco a visit. We've got severe storms. Let me switch over to the Central Texas radar. We've got severe storms south of Lampasas, down Highway 183, down to near Burnett, to Buchanan Dam and Kingsland. Some of these storms are probably producing some hail. We'll switch to the hail tracker. We've got a hail core southeast of Lampasas on 183. That might make its way towards Bell County here over the next hour. Have some hail cores showing up around Buchanan Dam and Kingsland, some small hail there. Could have some gusty winds as well. We can see that on the velocity product from the Central Texas radar. Nothing that screams super strong straight line winds in the hurricane force department, but we're going to have to keep an eye on it for sure. And these storms are generally moving off to the east-northeast at 30 miles per hour. Now, drop it down into south central Texas. The storm Supercell that produced baseballs in San Antonio to try to make another billion-dollar hail disaster is starting to weaken southeast of Seguin. You can see the precipitation is east-southeast of Seguin now. We'll switch on the hail product. And that would be on Highway 90. And you can see this radar is not showing any hail. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But hopefully, that means this storm is dying. Good riddance. Wind-wise, no rotation, no scary microburst signatures. We've got some showers trying to go up on Interstate 35E. Not that you can see it because of all that return garbage, but some light rain falling around Universal City to Garden City possible. Right now, there's nothing severe with that. So, with that being said, I am hopeful. No, I forgot one. Bad. Currently southeast of Sanford, north of Looters. I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry, but you know what? At this time of night, after this evening, I'm kind of over it. Could be producing some very significant hail. Probably back up in the baseball category again. This is going to pass near or just north of Albany in about 30 minutes. Hopefully it'll stay north of Albany. After that, assuming it continues its trek, which it may, it'll move into western North Texas. This is Stevens County. Could be near the city of Breckenridge in Stevens County in 1 hour. And we'll have to keep an eye out for some of these other storms too. The high-resolution rapid refresh model has shown one storm making it all the way from West Texas to Texarkana tonight. If that ends up being this storm, cool. If it doesn't happen, cool. But there is definitely potential for a few strong to severe storms to move into North Texas this evening from the west. And if that happens to include DFW later with an isolated storm, well, we'll be here. Otherwise, we have a little line now of severe thunderstorms, and the tornado warning is gone. The tornado warning has been canceled. The tornado warning may burn. No more tornado warnings. I'd throw an emoji party, but I don't have that set up right now. Strong straight line winds moving into Ennis right now. Winds up to 70 miles per hour are possible, in addition to quarter to maybe $half size hail. So that's what we're dealing with right now. The strongest storms are capable of producing winds up to 70 miles per hour. Baseball-sized hail with this thunderstorm north of Abilene, moving towards just north of Albany, towards Fort Griffin, actually. That's where that's going to pass near. This severe storm northeast of Anson, making a beeline for Fort Griffin. That's a state park here up on 283. Also a very low light pollution area, so it's great for stargazing, astrophotography, night photography. I've actually been out there a few times to do that over the years. Severe storms from near Kingsland to Burnett up to Copper's Cove. Those may try to bring some hail to I-35 this evening. We'll have to see exactly where they trek. We note this storm west of Waco is starting to pick up a little bit in steam. It may try and go severe and bring hail to parts of Waco to west. So with all that said, I'm going to switch this back to a radar loop for now, take a few minute break. I'm going to have to check on some things. I don't want to know how big the email inbox is. But we'll keep the live stream up. We'll just have no audio for a while with a radar loop. And I'll pop on from time to time again. I don't think I'm done with the severe weather coverage tonight, but I am going to go find copious amounts of acetaminophen now. So I'm david-reimer with the Texas Storm Chasers. We'll still be here this evening, but we're going to take a little bit of a break again. I'm going to get recaffeinated, and perhaps I'll come back with some new idioms. Waxahachie. I said I was going to be gone a few minutes, but I'm back. Okay. Oh, I turned my audio on, so now I can hear myself. That's unfortunate. Apparently, by the way, for those of you who care, we're going to go look real quick, because I'm curious. Apparently, there's a tornado about to move into Fort Smith, Arkansas. I may have also just blown the radar to Kingdom Come. Again, it's a 32-bit program, and there is a memory leak bug. So, whenever I loop the radar, sometimes it'll aggravate that memory leak bug, and it did, so it ran out of RAM. Alright, let's dive back in. I wanted to take a quick look, just for curiosity's sake, because I'm a weather weenie. Apparently, there's a tornado about to move into Fort Smith, Arkansas, and yeah, there is. Literally just north of Fort Smith, Arkansas, there's a tornado. And the weather radar is like 5 miles down the road. Two tornadoes, actually. One just northeast of Roland, Oklahoma. One literally like 2 miles north of Fort Smith, Arkansas. And yeah, there's a big debris ball with that circulation north of Roland. So apparently there's tornadoes ongoing in eastern Oklahoma, far western Arkansas. Back to the state of Texas, we've had a unfortunate incident this evening. We had a tornado cross Interstate 35E about 6 miles south of Waxahachie. We were here live covering it live. I was calling out the roads, in fact, in real time. Unfortunately, it sounds like we've had multiple serious injuries after multiple vehicles were rolled and or thrown from the interstate, which is why you don't drive during a tornado warning. Most folks have cell phones. Those cell phones get tornado warnings on their phone via the wireless emergency alerts. You wonder why you don't turn those off? Well, guess what? That's the easiest way to get a tornado warning nowadays. It's just unfortunate, but okay, what is this? I see you. I'm not sure if that's a random radar blurb. Might not be. You know, we're going to look at this real quick. This is the southwest side of Ennis. Now, I can't tell you if this is just some radar derping or if this is a circulation that's spinning up in the squall line. Either way, there may be a quick little spin-up tornado that just moved through the west side of Ennis. Besides that, we've got strong straight-line winds, 65 to 70 miles per hour, moving through eastern Ellis County. Those are going to be moving towards western Kaufman County over the next 30 minutes or so. Might maybe have a little brief tornado southwest of Ennis. I'm not confident that's not just some random reflectivity error or velocity error, but either way, it's not a great time in Ennis right now with strong winds. Tail end of the squall line just moved through Hillsboro with some strong winds, heavy rain. No signs of organized low-level rotation. Strong storm in northwestern McLennan County, just northeast of Crawford. This will be probably moving towards west. Oh, for heaven's sake, let me turn off the extrapolation. It looks nice and all, but you know what? Let's just do it this way. Okay, yeah, storm will be moving up towards Ross and near West Lacey Lakeview, Belmead, north side of Waco. Maybe some small hail up to the size of dimes, gusty winds. That storm's not severe right now. Could it become severe? Yes. Are we going to watch it? Yes. We've got a severe storm down southeast of Lampasas that's going to be making its way towards Colin and Fort Hood over the next 30 minutes. The potential for gusty winds and a area of low-level rotation, apparently. We're going to have to keep an eye on this circulation. It's completely wrapped in rain, but the radar is showing the potential for maybe a little rotation as this storm moves towards Harker Heights, Colin, and Fort Hood. It's not a screaming tornado signature, but definitely one that would support damaging straight-line winds and maybe a quick tornado spin-up. With this thunderstorm well southeast of Lampasas, about to move south of Copper's Cove towards Colin, Harker Heights, and Fort Hood. Sorry, I just noticed that. I'm literally just analyzing this with y'all as I look. I have another strong to severe storm capable of maybe some quarter-size hail west of Burnett. Winds up to 55 miles an hour, heavy rain. And the supercell that brought baseball-sized hail to San Antonio, brought hail to areas just south of Seguin, has now evaporated into nothingness known as a shower. Oh, and we have nasty hailstorm northwest of Albany, southeast of Stratford, that is producing 85-mile-per-hour winds. So, remember earlier, for those of you who have been watching for a while, I mentioned this storm that could have wind-driven baseball-sized hail. Apparently it's got 85-mile-an-hour winds, so that's hurricane-force winds with baseball-sized hail. That's not ideal. That is not ideal whatsoever. In fact, that is very bad. Fortunately, this will stay north of Albany. Unfortunately, it's going right for Fort Griffin, which has multiple historic artifacts, in addition to being one of my favorite state parks to go to for its lack of light pollution. So I hope the camp does all right, because this thing's probably putting down massive hail and hurricane force winds. This could be a threat to northern Stevens County, southwestern Young County, southeastern Throckmorton County over the next 1 hour. Hopefully this will stay north of Breckenridge, but the strong winds could make it into Breckenridge. After that, if it continues, it'll make its way through southern Young County, northern Stevens County. It would be in northern Palo Pinto County about 11:30 p.m. For those who care, apparently we're getting multiple tornadoes right now in this area. We've got a tornado in Van Buren, Arkansas. Yeah, I'm a weather weenie. We don't have any tornado warnings, so I'm going to actually take a peek. I'll tell you what, the radar is about to get hit by 80-mile-an-hour straight-line winds. We've got a tornado signature in Van Buren. No obvious debris signature, but they've had 2 or 3 tornado debris signatures in the last 10 minutes. Fort Smith, Arkansas, and the airport Air Force Base is about to get hit by 80 to 90-mile-an-hour straight-line winds. That's not great. All right, we've got a big new severe thunderstorm warning for the complex of thunderstorms east-southeast of the Metroplex. Let me turn off the lightning. In fact, I'm just going to delete the lightning place file. Let's be honest, it's May. If there's not lightning with a shower or thunderstorm in May, whatever. We all know there's going to be lightning and thunder. And what on earth is going on up here? I leave for 15 minutes and we end up with a blob. Okay, good news. Not really great, but storm now producing up to golf ball size hails on Highway 75 just south of Sherman, through the construction zone of doom, through Howell to near Van Alstyne. This is going to be moving east-northeast, I assume at about 40 miles an hour. Just had a meteorologist at K10 report ping-pong ball-sized hail near Howell at Highway 5 and 75. That's going to be moving towards Tom Bean, Whitewright, Bell, Savoy, Ector, and eventually could move into Bonham in about 35 minutes. So, hey, Bonham, you might have a hailer in your city in about 30 minutes. Potential for golf ball size hail. Now back down to the scary squall line thing of doom. We've got a squall line bow echo mean-looking thing extending from just west of Terrell to Kaufman to Rosier, whatever. Ennis to Bardwell to Italy to Milford. I said Italy. Oh, no. Italia. Uh-oh, I mispronounced it. Chelsea's going to be mad. I mispronounced it. It's not Italy, I don't think. This is like me and Bernie. I always say Bourne, but it's Bernie, west of San Antonio. Oh well. Milford to Carl's Corner. Notice a hail core southeast of Grandview, because apparently y'all haven't had your fair share of hail yet tonight. Sarcasm implied. So now you get some more. Radar is detecting winds up to 70 miles an hour with these thunderstorms. So there's definitely the potential for 60 to 70 mile an hour straight line winds. and maybe some quarter to ping pong ball size hail, maybe some golf ball size hail with that black thingy or black reflectivity structure showing up southeast of Grandview. The purples, the blacks, the whites. It's never good when you see those on the weather radar. It means hail. Strong straight line winds. There is no tornado issue with these storms at the moment. These are straight line wind signatures with some hail, heavy rain, a lot of lightning, not tornadic in nature. Notice we're dealing with more of a cluster of thunderstorms versus a individual supercellular thunderstorm. We'll still have to keep an eye out for any localized areas of rotation, of course, but at this point, those do not look tornadic. Let's go into south or central Texas. You've got a strong storm, weaker looking than it was earlier, northwest of Waco, east of Valley Mills, near Golston to Ross. Some heavy rain there, might not even have any hail. If there is, it's probably the size of a pea. Papa Echo Alpha, not Papa Echo Echo, by the way. I accidentally reported that once, by the way, as 10 years ago, as a spotter report. I didn't spell it PEA, I spelled it the other way. My dysgraphia kicked in a little. Strong straight line winds with this cell south of Copper's Cove, moving towards Colin, Fort Hood, Harker Heights. Eventually, may even say hello to Salado, Belton, Temple. One of our folks, Alex Bartholomew, has his grandparents that live in Belton. He moved up to DFW a few years ago because he was tired of missing out on storms and wanted to chase more. Ever since he moved, Belton seems to be getting hit with more severe storms, so you can blame him for that. And I hope one of our folks is watching that can capture that in a little video clip and send it to Alex. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. This storm could have some quarter-size hail, winds up to 60 miles per hour. It should be in Belton, Harker Heights probably in the next 20 minutes or so. It's moving to 25 miles an hour, so it may take closer to 40 minutes for places like Belton. Storms have weakened down in Burnett. In fact, they all but evaporated. They look much more fledgling now, so could have some small hail, gusty winds, heavy rain, but those don't look severe at this point. The severe wind, at least, this does have a pretty good straight line wind signature moving into Bell County, so that could be problematic. All right, let's look and see what we're missing. Let's go say hi to this storm. This storm produced an 84-mile-an-hour wind gust at a West Texas Mesonet station southeast of Stamford earlier. The hail core is ridiculous. The reflectivity signature is ridiculous. And in all likelihood, this thing is producing enough golf ball size hail to make it several inches deep. In addition to the potential of hurricane force winds over 80 miles per hour. This storm is going to be making its way east into northern Stevens, southeastern Throckmorton, southern Young County over the next 1 hour. It's moving east at a brisk 50 miles per hour. Assuming it continues, and frankly, I don't think it's not going to. Some models have had this storm making it all the way to Texarkana tonight. So, in all likelihood, at least some of North Texas is going to be dealing with isolated severe storms with hail and strong winds later tonight. This will be passing north of Breckenridge, crossing over Highway 183 in 20 minutes. It'll be crossing over Highway 16 in probably about 65 minutes northeast of Breckenridge. I need to fix the label button. Let's make some more cities. In about an hour, this storm will be entering Possum Kingdom and Possum Kingdom Lake. A beautiful area. They have a lot of competitions on the lake, tournaments and stuff. Beautiful homes. They've unfortunately also had their fair share of wildland-urban interface incidents over the last, I think it's actually almost been over 10 years now. Unfortunately, that area, while beautiful, also has its fair share of WIs. So, Severe storm northeast of Howe near Lula, crossing over Highway 11 near Tom Bean. That's going to be moving northeast towards Bells, the potential for quarter to ping pong ball size hail. We've got storms producing lightning, small hail, heavy rain around Cooper to Commerce. Same thing near Blue Ridge. Another strong storm with some small hail. Heavy rain, lightning just southwest of Greenville, down Highway 66 through Caddo Mills to Royce City and Interstate 30. Probably not a great time to be on I-30, if there ever is, through the construction zones. And then we've got a line of severe storms from near Terrell to Rice, back to Milford and Burns. Some of these storms are showing significant straight line winds, especially these in Kaufman County. And for what it's worth, it doesn't sound good. The tornado over an hour ago that crossed 35E near Johnson's Road, we were here covering it live road to road. Had tornado debris signature and all. Sounds like they're still working to get people out of the wreckage, so extended extrication. We've got winds of 70 miles an hour moving into Kaufman County from just southwest of Terrell, aka the Poor Buckies, to Kaufman, to Oak Grove, to Rosser. That'll be moving towards Maybank Camp, Gun Barrel City, eventually towards Wills Point and Canton. I don't know if they're having any events ongoing at in Canton at the camp on the southwest side of town this week, but if so, you're not going to want to be near any of those tents in about 30 to 45 minutes. You're going to have very strong westerly winds, heavy rain, small hail. Might have some brief issues with flooding. All right, let's go back to Central Texas. Severe storm capable of producing quarter-size hail, maybe some strong winds. I say maybe. There is strong winds southwest of Colin, moving towards Harker Heights, Salado, and Belton, up to 60 miles per hour. Straight line wind, not tornadic. Switching over to the mean estimated hail size. Yeah, we could have some hail just southeast of Lampasas and Copper's Cove, moving towards Colin, Fort Hood, Harker Heights. The storms that were near Burnett are much, much, much weaker now. They're mainly just your ordinary thunderstorms. But as we come up to 10 p.m., good evening. I'm David-Reimer with the Texas Storm Chasers. We've had an unfortunate incident in Ellis County this evening where we had a tornado cross Interstate 35E about 6 miles south of Waxahachie. That tornado was likely wrapped in rain. It was after sunset. Multiple vehicles were rolled over or lofted and thrown into a field. We know there are multiple serious injuries and multiple people trapped in their vehicles. So we send them our thoughts and prayers. And we really hope they'll be all right. So one tornado crossed that we know of, crossed 35E, about 6 miles south of Waxahachie. We had a strong tornado about 2-3 miles northwest of Blum in Northwestern Hill County this evening. We may have had a third tornado. Well, actually, I think we did have a third tornado near Grandview too. So 2 or 3 tornadoes that we know of. And of course, those will all be confirmed by damage surveys in the coming days. The tornado threat for now has diminished. It's still there in a low capacity, but our primary concern as of now is damaging straight line winds and some large hail. We've got damaging straight line winds with these thunderstorms from near Terrell to Rice to just northeast of Hillsboro. They are moving east, almost a bit east-southeast at times, but mainly east at 30 miles an hour towards Canton, Athens, Corsicana, down to Hubbard. We've got a severe storm over coming into Copper's Cove, Colleen, Fort Hood, Harker Heights. That's moving east-northeast at about 30. Could make it into places like Belton and Temple and Morgan's Point about 40 minutes. Could have some quarter-size hail winds of 60. Some strong storms extending from near Burnett to Kingsland, south of Llano. and then the supercell that brought baseballs to San Antonio has dissipated. So that's good news. We've got a very intense storm capable of producing baseball-sized hail winds of 80 miles an hour passing north of Albany. This one may make it into North Texas. An unusual severe weather set up with these storms back here. These are behind a cold front, but in a very strong area of lift and elevated instability. So these, even though surface temperatures are cooler, this is still producing big hail and extremely strong winds. This produced an 84-mile-an-hour wind gust southeast of Stanford at 9:30 p.m., and this thing's booking it east at 50 miles an hour. So if it were to continue, I'm just going to put a little tracker on this because it's not out of the question. If for some reason this makes it, this is going to be in Tarrant County in less than 2 hours. In fact, probably by 11:45. So heads up, Western North Texas, Stevens County, Palo Pinto County, or Parker County, Southern Young, Southern Jack, Southern Wise. This storm may make it. So if it does, it's going to be in Western Tarrant County by midnight. And it's capable of producing extremely large hail at this point and very strong straight line winds, hurricane force winds. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. And then we're going to have to keep an eye on all these storms that extend in eastern North Texas into central Texas. But for now, we're going to take a break. We've been live for over 3 hours now, so we'll let the live streams cool their heels a bit. And I'm sure we'll be back doing some more severe weather updates this evening. We'll continue being on social media. I want to thank everyone who sent in stars and super chats, etc. this evening. I never asked for them, and y'all just started, and Chelsea's been keeping me updated. And thank you to Chelsea for manning the chats, responding to comments as best as she could. Facebook actually just blocked her from doing that because she replied too much. So thank you, Facebook. You're still a trash platform in terms of development, but that's why we like YouTube so much. But of course, we're on Facebook, we're on the Twitter, we're on the Instagram, we're on the we're even on Twitch. We're on TikTok, all those. And we have our own mobile app, Texas Storm Chasers, and our website, texasstormchasers.com, where you can keep an eye on the storms with our interactive weather radar. So thanks for joining us this evening for our severe weather coverage. It's not done yet, but we're going to take a bit of a break now, collect some information, and I'm sure we'll be back. I'm David-Reimer with the Texas Storm Chasers. Y'all have a good evening. Stay weather aware. It's not over yet.